What is up, guys? Welcome to Town Hall episode 23. We have honestly a huge show lined up today. We had a big QA from Blizzard today. They kind of renamed it a Developer Insight. We're going to talk about the new map, Garden of Fury, Rehgar. I always want to say Rexar. Rehgar Earth Fury. Master skins. We got a lot of new skins just in general. And it's a lot of big changes to the game and the progression system. But I'm Solid Jake, but we're joined by the whole cast. Zoia's back today. So Zoia, what's up, man? What's new? It's been a while.
Well, as you can tell, when you work from home 40 hours a week, you stop caring about your physical appearance, and I've grown this disgusting neck beard. But yeah,
it's a birthday beard.
It's a birthday beard. Yeah, my birthday was Sunday.
Yeah.
I shared my birthday with Mr. Corey over here as well, which was it blew my mind that happened.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Like, oh, it's a birthday. That's fine, too.
Yeah, it was a fun weekend. Training will be over. I'll have one more week, which I won't be here next week, but after that, I will be done with training and won't miss a show again, which is fun. But yeah, I mean, just lots of training and still playing lots of Heroes. Excited to talk about it today because I've been itching for it.
Awesome. Kev, what's up, man?
Not a whole ton. Got some new stuff coming in this week for me, and then I'm actually having a going away land for my buddy who's quitting everything in life to go live in a van and go climb mountains for 9 months plus. So he's going to go do that. So we're going to go have a big land to send him off because, I mean, that's pretty much all we did through high school. And yeah, that's my life right now.
And you didn't invite me to this LAN party?
Yeah, well,
wow.
We call
yeah,
it.
well,
it's actually we normally have it. We used to have it up until about college. It used to be on Bastille Day because we used to have a backstory to the Bastille being stormed that actually the Allies from Command and Conquer went back in time and used a particle cannon, and that's what started the French Revolution. But that's besides the point.
All right, well, Coobs?
Oh, what's up? What's up? Not a whole lot going on this week. Yeah, it was my birthday, so weekend was pretty busy. Nothing really exciting.
Famous.
Yeah, nothing super exciting. Usual Street Fighter. Still basking in that Evo, victory-ish.
For Rose.
Still celebrating for Rose. Yeah. Yeah. No, nothing too exciting. But no, you know what I was thinking about when Kevin was saying? Imagine no Heroes for 7 months. 9 months? Was it 7 or 9? God,
9. He's doing away
9 months for no computer games or anything like that. That's rough. That is rough.
Wait, who?
My buddy is going away for 9 months. Just imagine not having a computer for 9 months.
I didn't even make that connection. No, I can't fathom. Let's not even think about that. Let's think about Heroes of the Storm, because this is actually going to be a jam-packed show. We had a ton of news throughout the week. I mean, out of nowhere, Blizzard's just like, all right, we're just going to start releasing multiple videos a day. Like, before it was just kind of like, you get a little bit here, you get a new hero there, oh, packs? All right, here's some stuff. But, this last week, it's like, all right, we're going to give you guys a new map. We're going to give you guys a new hero. We're going to show off, like, we've seen 12 master skins. They're releasing them, like, pretty frequently. Actually, no, we've seen 13. We saw Rehgar's. Yeah. So we saw 13 master skins. They're telling us more stuff about the progression system. They changed the progression system, and they're also changing the they're adding artifacts. So those are like the topics for today: progression system, artifacts, master skins, new map, and a new hero. But let's just start off with it's a lot. We have a big show. That's for sure. And I almost want to name this the Plant Whore episode, but we're not going to say it's the Plant Whore episode, even though Kevin Naki loves to shout Plant Whore at the top of his lungs.
It's funny because we don't know what you're saying. You could be saying horror and just not enunciating.
Well, you can...
And that's why you make sure when you're naming something that everybody's going to pronounce it the same way. Wow. Like, now I'm double checking myself.
Yeah. Well, let's just start off with looking at the master skins. Probably the fluffiest topic. I think everybody's probably seen these already. We'll take a quick look at them.
You know who's fluffy? Falstad. Check out that fluffy Falstad.
This is Arthas. Zoia, you're the local Arthas player. What do you think?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
You don't like the horns?
I don't like The horns are silly. Everything else about it's neat, but the horns are whatever.
Let's talk about the freaking entirely punk rock Falstad, though. Look at that mohawk.
I love this. This is like making me want to play Falstad, and I think
It belongs in a Misfits album.
Lily, no one cares.
She's got wow. Now she can start singing Rihanna. Is
it's
it
hard for
Rihanna
me to be excited about.
Oh, the single ladies.
No, under my umbrella.
Oh, that's song. I don't even know.
She's raining
and then
boobs
on
her. Okay, hands down the Stitches, though.
Oh, it's godlike. Are you kidding me? I was so psyched when I saw that. I was like, yes, I need that.
Like, Stitches, King Stitches, like, look at the skull in his crown. It's really, really quite wonderful.
Oh, it's so awesome. It's just so awesome.
And
that was like that one. Like when I saw that, I was like, "That's definitely going to be the best skin that they're going to release for Master Skins." And then I was proven wrong. Well, let's take a look at the StarCraft skins so we can get a comparison of bad skins.
Unfortunately, yeah,
the StarCraft skins were not that amazing. I mean, Abathur looks kind of cool. He looks like he's more of a roach.
I like the Abathur skin. I mean, again, their whole goal with the skins is to make you want to play a character all the way to the end. Make you completely complete a character and have something to brag about. Oh, I have this. And some of them don't necessarily feel as epic as others. Like Kerrigan's is like it's cool, but I mean Tassadar's is like it doesn't stand out as much. It's still cool.
I like Tassadar's.
Sure. It's still very cool. Don't get me wrong, but like Stitches is like so godlike.
Kerrigan and Zagar jumped out at me. Was like, let's just put silly hats on people.
Yeah.
See if people like it.
This
silly hats only.
Yes.
As a Zagara player, I will not use this skin. I just don't like it.
This isn't Team Fortress. We need.
But she's aerodynamic.
She's aerodynamic. I just flat out won't use that skin.
Yeah. Questionable skin.
There's actually like they added more videos. We're only planning on showing 3, but we got 5. So Kev. We're going to Doblo.
What is your shirt? Bro! It's so amazing! I'm sorry. Every time I see that skin, that's like my audible I can't contain it.
So if he was on a football team, every other team would just give up. Like
Barb's is meh.
It's meh. I wish she didn't have that diamond on her forehead.
Yeah, the nose piece ruins it for me.
Yeah, that diamond.
How the heck is that?
Her sword looks silly. Like what'd they do to it? It's like a key.
The shoulders are cool.
The Keyblade, yo.
I don't want Keyblades, please no Keyblades.
I love Batgirl Vala. It's
Yeah, Vala's is fine.
She looks like Bane and Batman had a child.
I like it that much if it wasn't for the mask, but I think the mask is actually really cool.
She's already got a very small model, like compared to everybody else, so it's gonna be very cluttered. What is your shirt? Your cam is like failing hard.
Yeah, your cam is.
It's from Jake's end. Look at Jake's call and the one with the low connection. Mine, I'm seeing everything come through clear.
Everybody looks perfect except you, bro.
Can you tell now? It's a Mewtwo King shirt because he's my god.
Oh
my god!
No.
You live in a sad world.
Oh,
Mewtwo King is my god. He says.
He's my god.
Well, that being said,
moving on.
We've got a few more skins. I should full screen this, but I'm a scrub. This is Illidan. I don't like it. I think his weapons look cool, but they like to throw horns on people. Like,
I mean, Illidan's got horns, though.
Very Voltron.
I know, but I don't know. This, I don't know what her chest is doing. It's on her ribs. She's got wings instead of the moon. Cool. She's got a moon on her head instead. I don't know. It's not that interesting. This is the first one we saw.
Yeah, I like this one.
I mean, it's just very his book.
Not jumping out at me. It's like
they turned Uther into a tank. Like
his glowy eyes are cool. His
book an actual moving tank.
Yeah. This though.
Oh yeah, this one is sick.
The Murden is so sick.
Yeah.
He seriously looks like a dwarf Ironbreaker from Warhammer. Like, not a doubt, but it looked awesome. I am so happy for it.
I don't wanna fight him. I know that much.
No,
unfortunately, it's not like he actually got buffed because of the skin now, so
it's still okay to fight him. It's fine.
And last but not least, we're just gonna go through Rehgar, even though we're not talking about him yet. We're gonna look at his skins just because I have the video right here and I'm lazy. But Rehgar is in fact the new hero that was announced today. They kind of tweeted pictures of like the silhouette, so we kind of called that right away last week. But his model looks so good. Like, this is just his basic model. Like, even, like, his Spirit Wolf, like, it looks incredible. And you'll notice really quick that they actually take the time to edit his Spirit Wolf.
I don't like that skin.
I do, because this is, like, gladiator armor. Like, this is actually, like, warrior tier armor put on a shaman.
It looks like Wrath.
It does.
No. That's, I think that's old PvP gear, isn't it, for shaman?
It is, actually.
And his level, his normal skin is just the tier 2 shaman skin too.
So this doesn't look that cool. It looks kind of dorky to have this big piece here.
One
but I like the idea of putting like the different armor on the wolf as well, just because it's a lot of extra work. But the master skin, oh my freaking god! I'm like, why doesn't WoW armor look this good? Like, seriously, like the WoW's engine isn't that weak, and this looks so much better. It's ridiculous, and it's a wolf in a wolf with more wolves on its shoulders. Wolfception.
Yeah, the wolf looks amazing for the master.
Xivik got a hold of that one.
It's like, I mean, I'm a support player. And like Rehgar looks really good. So
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But well, favorite skins, Kev? We know yours is Diablo. Kubi.
Yeah, Dibbles.
Kubi, you going with Stitches?
Yeah, but a side note that when I first saw Arthas's, I thought that he looked like a cross between Tim the Enchanter and the Tick. I was just like, what is this? So maybe for a comical relief, I thought Arthas's was pretty funny.
Zoloff?
Probably Muradin.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's good.
That's a solid call though. I mean, if it wasn't Diablo, it would definitely be Muradin for me.
I think that Muradin looks so cool. Like, makes you want to play him more. I mean, he's already starting to get play in the top level play, but like, I don't know. It just looks so cool.
Well, I'm gonna go with my Wolfception. You know, the skin was really cool, but then when I saw Wolfception, I was like, this is the best master skin. Like, honestly, the day Rehgar comes out, I'm actually just gonna solo him until I have the master skin. Like, I'm just not gonna play other heroes. So deal with that, Corey, because I want Wolfception ASAP.
He looks good, so I can't complain.
He looks really good, but again, we'll get there. I can't wait to talk about him. But let's just kind of talk about the QA that happened again today. It was QA number.
Let me stop you real quick, Jake.
Sure.
We did do some straw polls.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm curious to see. Okay, so it looks like we had Falstad for the Warcraft heroes, although I didn't put a separate one up for the second video that they put out. And for StarCraft, people like Tassadar, so that's about what I expected.
Tassadar looked cool because he looked like the old like StarCraft 1.
Did you post them in chat?
No, I didn't. So
why don't you post them in the chat? People can vote, and we'll revisit that in just a moment.
Okay, that's fair.
So yeah, well, let us know what you guys think about the straw polls. I have the Warcraft and StarCraft links or straw polls. I don't have the other ones though.
Those are the only two we put.
Oh, okay.
They just released those.
So I have.
But yeah, Tassadar looked like the old like StarCraft 1 High Templar because he had the giant like rings that go around his shoulders.
Yeah.
And I was like looking at it, and I was like, why does that remind me so much more of like StarCraft 1? And I was like, that's it. It's the giant ring things because you always see that on the Zealots. They had that at the victory screen for StarCraft 1.
Yes. Yep. So pretty cool. I like that skin. Out of that batch, I would agree. It was the best.
So, yeah, we'll come back to that after this. We're just gonna. Some people are like further behind, depending on the lag and stuff with Twitch. Yeah. But so they did the QA. I think it was number 6. They now renamed it Blizzard Developer Insight or Heroes Developer Insight. Much better name. QA just sounds kind of like, hey, we're answering phones kind of thing. But
number 6. What's your question about Heroes?
I never liked the name, so I'm glad they changed it. So I wrote down a few key things that they kind of brought up, and one of them is, I don't think it's the first time he said it, but I still found it interesting to like just retouch it, that their goal is to have a total of 7 to 9 maps, which then rotate in and out of the current map pool. Now, if you guys have ever played StarCraft 2, StarCraft 2 had typically about 6 or 7 maps at a time, right?
A little more, but they would let you veto.
A little bit more, but you can veto. Now, I think that's too much for Heroes. Heroes is like a different beast. I think if they had 7 to 9 maps at a time, that's a lot. So I don't know what you guys think. I personally think it should be capped at 5. Five makes... No, you're saying 4, Kev.
4 and veto 1.
But
so you can only play on 3 maps at a time.
Again, I'm always coming from an esports perspective, and I'm thinking running events. Now, when you have 5 maps, it puts you in a really good situation where if you're running best of 3s, you could run a format like so. Winning team of game 1 then bans a map. So then they ban a map, and the losing team picks map 2. So they're like counter picking. So it's like, all right, we know that Cloud9 is really good on Cursed Hollow. We're gonna ban that. So then they have to choose from the other 3 maps remaining going into game 2, and then so say that the other team wins, then they ban a map and Cloud9 picks from the remaining, the remaining 2 maps or 3 maps or 2. I'm bad at math, but anyways, yeah. So that way, each team is guaranteed to have 1 ban, and then all 3 other maps will be played.
So I mean, well, maybe you could do something like how StarCraft does it, where I mean, it's just you have a map pool of say 6, 8 maps, and then you ban a couple, going back and forth. Or, I mean, the one thing that I kind of really like about Dota's pick and ban phase is that there's like ban, then pick, and then a whole bunch of picks, then bans, then more picks, then bans. So.
Yeah, but
maybe
like
something like that.
So like, but in StarCraft 2, it's like, all right, I need to have a build order ironed out for myself on this map. But in Heroes, you have to worry about. I mean, you're playing Terran versus maybe Zerg, or maybe there's only so many matchups. But in Heroes, you have a ton of different compositions possible, especially when you have a lot of different heroes. So strategies are going to fluctuate a lot more. So like really like ironing out like a strat that you like to do on a map is going to be really hard to do when you have to practice on 7 maps. Like, that sounds awful.
That's where the skill comes in, though. Like, I disagree with such a limited map pool. I want there to be a lot. And the main reason is, how many of the maps that Blizzard has made for StarCraft 2 were good and seen, like that people were like, yes, this is a great map. Like, most of the time, it was either GSL maps or community-injected maps. Like, some of the best maps, Cloud Kingdom, was made by a community member.
Yeah, you're right.
So was Ohana. Like, I don't like the fact that we have... Like, 5 maps seems too small. I like the fact that you can... I like diversity. Because if we have so few maps, we risk having one of those maps being really bad.
I think the problem that you're going to run into with Heroes is because you have maps that you're going to rotate around and then ban one, and then heroes that you're gonna do pick and ban phase. It's too much picking and banning. Like StarCraft, there's only the maps that you pick and ban. League of Legends, Dota, it's only the heroes that you're pick and banning. It's leading too much up to the map. You need to have a very solid map system, I think. In this best of 3, we're gonna have. I mean, for this tournament, we're gonna have 3 maps.
Right.
For this best of 3, it's going to be in this order. For the second best of 3, it's going to be this order. And for the third best of, and for the next round, this next round is going to be a different order.
But then you can say, oh, well, this team lost because they suck at this map, and that's like a negative.
Well, that's
thing.
their fault. You're supposed to be good at these maps.
Yeah, I agree with Kevin completely. If you're going to be good at the game, you need to learn to play on like multiple maps. Like look at Smash, there's like 6 or 7 maps that are like in competitive play. Like either be good at them or ban them or. Have an alternate character where you're good on that map.
The whole pick ban process I proposed is the exact one that Smash uses.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, but you can't
have to keep in mind. Go ahead, Kev.
I was gonna say you don't pick. I mean, that's the only thing I'm afraid of is that if you have too many pick and ban phases, if you have 2 different picks and ban phases,
it's not even like a phase though. There's 5 maps. You lose a game, so the winning team then has to ban a map before you choose it. It's just like, all right, they ban one map, you pick a map. So then, if it goes to game 3, then there's one more ban and you go. It's like a quick decision. It's not like, oh well, we strike this, we strike this, we strike this. It's like no, it's a one-off thing that happens after a loss.
We have to keep in mind in the Q&A they were talking specifically about their ladder for tournaments and anyone who hosts a tournament. You can pick whatever map pool, you can pick whatever pick ban process you want. But for what they actually said, 7 to 9 maps, that's just for the general game itself. Whether you're doing unranked, whether you're doing ranked play.
But even still, like the StarCraft 2 ladder, they always kind of try to mirror what tournaments do. But you're right. At the same time, a tournament could say, we're only going to have these 5 ladders. I was thinking more from a tournament perspective with the 5-map thing. I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world if a ladder did have 7 maps on at once. But still, like, God, queuing. Oh, God, we got Cursed Mine.
The more maps that
that's what they're going to do. They're just going to mash the maps they have now together.
That's pretty much
that's what they already did with this latest news.
Yeah, they pretty much did that.
Shots fired, but it's
shots
pretty
fired. But
the more maps that Blizzard makes, is the better chance that they're going to all be good maps, or we're going to have at least a solid pool to pick from. And
so,
like, it just leads to cool counterplay. You know, you just studying your opponent stuff.
Segueing off what you said earlier, like, you know, eventually we are going to have a map editor, and a lot of people don't actually know that about Heroes of the Storm, but Blizzard has always been about map editors, even when it came to Warcraft. I mean, Dota was born on the Warcraft map tools, and StarCraft 2 has a lot of really, really great custom-made maps that are played in competitive play. Like you said, GSL makes maps, people make fun stuff. Somebody made World of StarCraft or StarCraft Universe.
Have you played that yet, by the way?
I have, but it's okay. I really appreciate the work. I mean, they worked super hard on it, but so they're gonna have this super powerful map editor. Now we've seen nothing on it, but do you think in the long run that most of the maps will end up being made by viewers, or not viewers, but players, community?
I don't think most. I think it's gonna be like StarCraft, where at least in the beginning, it's gonna be Blizzard kind of running the show to show what the engine is capable of. And that's kind of what happened with StarCraft 2. And then people will start to, like, kind of submit maps, and we'll start getting those Cloud Kingdoms that'll be, like, the first map that we're ever including. And then from there, it might, like, start shooting up. But I think in the beginning, for at least the first year, it's probably going to be Blizzard-sanctioned maps only. Like, Blizzard-made maps only.
This is, like, I should save this for another show. But we're on the topic, because this is like a huge topic. But if custom maps allowed you to have some form of currency and shop where you could buy very basic items like wards or buffs.
It won't ever make it a competitive play.
Jordan's gonna vomit.
We're going to see someone make a exact replica of the League of Legends map, Summoner's Rift, and you're going to see an exact same replica with the shop and everything of the Dota 2 map. Like, we're going to see that eventually by someone who's like, well, let's just see how this game would work on a traditional MOBA map. It won't ever see competitive play. The thing that draws people into Heroes is its, you know, uniqueness in maps, is its uniqueness in Heroes and stuff.
I mean, I agree.
So we won't ever see it at the top level, but, you know, eventually we will see people in the map better, you know. Who knows, someone will be like, hey, we'll host a tournament on the Summoner's Rift map from League of Legends and see, you know, what that would look like. You know, we'll see that eventually, but it won't ever become a thing.
Actually, a really interesting point that I want to bring up is I was watching TI 4 this weekend.
Yeah, you got the number right. It's the 4th.
There's a little bit of
I was almost going to go up like TI 83. Yeah, I was watching this calculator this weekend. I don't know what all the deal was about. Anyway, I was watching it this weekend, and I played Dota back in like 2006, 2007, which is really dating myself. And I played a lot. I knew the heroes back then, but then I watched it again this week, and I was like, I kind of know some of these guys. What does that ability do? What did these abilities do? And I was worrying more about the abilities, and then I remembered, holy crap, there's items. What did they even pick? What do the items do? And like, there was like one guy who was super helpful. His name was Jason. Jason, if you're out there, cool, good on you, buddy. Who was like trying to explain as much as he can without saying this guy's an idiot. Why are you here? But I would really like to stay away from items just because I know it adds complexity and I know it adds everything else. But like when you even think about the fact that if you're trying to get into a game, trying to watch TI4 for me was a headache. Because I was trying to learn everything and then be excited. And then I was getting excited at parts that nobody was else getting excited about. I was like, oh, he landed that ability. And they're like, no, it's okay. He's got this item. He's fine now. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, just BKB. Okay. It's fine. It's just like,
reminds me of
Armada.
I'm with you 100% there, but it's just an idea. I just wanted to know if you guys thought.
Yeah.
And I said specifically like stuff like wards, but I really think here. I mean, even the chat hit the nail on the head here. We already have heroes like Zagara and now Rehgar who can drop totems and creep and essentially ward. And I think the game's going to actually develop to the point where each team's going to want a hero like that can be used to have a lot of vision, have a lot of presence. I mean, yeah, you can, like, Tassadar can have his presence, and Tirana can shoot her arrow and stuff like that. You can like, see around the map with them, but it's also nice to have that static vision with Zagara or the totem. So it's just a very controversial topic because everybody's like, oh, there's no wards. I mean, that's stupid. And Heroes is a very different game.
Yep.
But Corey, you wanted to vomit. Did you want to comment on that? Because you looked...
No, you guys pretty much already said it. Like, that's something that makes Dota Dota. This is something that makes League League. And we got a new game here. People want to see a new game, a different game that is, you know, diversified from those two games. And that's what makes Dota Dota, and that's not Heroes. So I don't want to see that. And I would be so... And we're going to get to it. That's one of the reasons why people are throwing their hands up. That's like a perfect segue then up. Yeah. But I think we're going to finish covering what else they talked about in the Q&A.
Yes. So yeah, we can move on.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that later.
With the developer insight.
Yes. That's right. My apologies.
not the phone center. And so another thing they announced that I wrote down is that Blizzard is going to be removing talents that are just kind of like generic and useless, like Path of the Assassin. You're reading my show notes.
Yeah, I'm reading show notes. Continue.
Path of Wizard and Path of the Warrior. Those will be removed from the game because they're just...
Sorry, I had to check to see what he was laughing at.
So delayed.
It's just Jake shortened Path of Assassin, so it's just Path of the first 3 letters of the word assassin.
And when Jake stumbled on it, that was...
And we're just immature and laughing at these things. Anyway, continuing on. Yes, they're removing them. I'm going to just interject right now because I was already talking. I think it's a good idea.
So they're removing them.
Given the artifact system, I can understand why they're taking.
They're removing them because of the artifact system. They're just static buffs on stats for characters. So they said these are unnecessary because this is the role that artifacts function. And I think this is great because we were in a Skype chat with Sia Steve, and he's like, he did the math of like having the mana buff and Path of the Assassin on Malfurion, or I think it was Malfurion Tesla. It's just like unlimited mana. It's just like, this is ridiculous. Yep. So now you have that talent point for something more exciting because it's kind of boring. It's just like, all right, I'm going to get mana regen. When you could get, you know, on Brightwing, like I'd much rather have the inner circle damage on my tier 1 than Path of the Wizard if I had the option to put an artifact in there instead of getting Path of Wizard. So that's kind of cool because those are really boring talents, and the talents are supposed to like add uniqueness to your build. Not just effectiveness, but like add like this is how I play Brightwing, this is how I play Diablo.
I think to really dive into this question, if they go with the how to publicly or PR this, if they go with Artifact, I mean they need to do that because I mean having Path of the Wizard plus this plus that, it's too much. We'll get into the artifact situation later on.
It's like a hard conversation to have without being into
right.
I really just want to say, if they do go with artifact, then yes, they need to get rid of the paths because I mean it just adds stats when we're already going to be adding stats. So why add more stats? The thought behind this, of course, what they said was talents should be focusing on changing and upgrading your abilities. Completely agree. And I think that I hope that they flesh out the talent system a bit more, and that's about all I have to say.
I mean, they're constantly tweaking it, adding and removing talents, moving where they fit. They even said on the show today that if there's a talent, like, you know, we've said this about many talents before, why would you ever get that? They said if there's ever a talent that feels like it doesn't have a place compared to other talents, that talent needs to be reworked or removed. They want every talent to be a viable option. Now, this is not something that's going to happen. All right, Adora, you can kindly leave my screen.
Yeah, so that's nice in theory, and I feel good when they say things like that. It's like, oh, you know what? That makes sense. That explains a lot of the changes that they're making. But we know that that's not the reality, and things aren't going to be like that. So really, like, kind of like looks good PR wise, just for them to say that, but it's not how things are going to be. So kind of makes it worse. I don't know.
I mean, I agree, but
everything that Kev said is right. You know, the reason, like, for that reason they're removing it is absolutely right. But yeah, not much more can be said until we actually start talking about artifacts.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll be there soon.
I'm impatient.
Actually, that's our last.
Let's
topic.
go.
That's our last.
It should be our last topic because we're going to go on for freaking ever.
Yeah,
we don't want to
talk about snowballing changes.
We will talk about everything else before we get tired of talking about things.
So yes, the underdog, underslog system will be tweaked again. Right now, they said they've heard a lot of good and bad feedback, but internally they kind of seem to think that it might be too much, it might be too strong. As of right now, it's a flat. If you're 2 levels behind, you get this much. They said they're gonna make it so that it's more scaling, so like it'll be like 1.1 levels, 1.2 levels. Yeah, it'd be more like more angular and less severe. They said they're gonna tone it down a little bit to make you work a little bit harder. So, I mean, if you get 3 levels behind, you're in a really bad spot. Like it's already rough, but like, you know, if you're 3 levels behind, you know, the other team earned it, and they should stay ahead. So I think it's good that they might be toning that down. Thoughts?
I mean, we called it on the show that they initially did the rework. We all, like, at least some of us said that they were going to change it back. This was only like a temporary thing because there were so many of the top teams just destroying newer players, and they put that in there to kind of give them a little bit of a cushion so they wouldn't like, oh, this game's like, why is this fun? Because I just got wrecked, not fun.
Right.
So, I mean, we knew they were going to tweak it down eventually. I don't know. Until we actually get to play with it and see some numbers, I don't know how I feel about it. But if they're making it less of a cushion, then I'm happy about that, obviously.
I don't think they're necessarily doing that, but they're making it sort of like a gradient instead of it being like you have like key points where it's like you hit level 3 ahead, 2 ahead, or whatever it is. Now it's like if you're 1.5 or 1.6, you get a scaled amount based on those numbers.
And they said they think it might be.
They are buffing it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's less brutal though. Like for the winning team is what I meant to say. Like the losing team used to have like such. I don't know. I don't know how to phrase it right, but
they can't just win a team fight and be equal again if they're 3 levels
basically.
down. Yeah, because that's kind of how it is right now. You win a team fight, and it's just like, all right, we're back in. Like, and meanwhile, the other team outplayed you for 20 minutes. Like, it shouldn't come down to one initiation, but yeah, that's exciting news. And the last thing that I really took out is that they're getting rid of that forced input lag. It's supposed to be in this patch tomorrow. I mean,
I never understood that. Like, what does that mean?
There's a little bit of lag.
People talk about.
I mean, so there's a little bit of delay on everything. Like by default,
you mean like the internal cooldown.
No. As you like when you click to move something, like there's a slight delay before that character.
So just like standard latency type thing.
Yeah, right. It's basically going to be a quality of life thing. It's going to feel better. The game's going to.
They had something built in that made people lag.
Yeah, I guess they did.
It's not even something that's built in. It's just the way the game was engineered to try to reduce like. So when you're playing a game online, it's trying to they have something in place to try to balance it so that the experience is the same for everyone. And basically the engineers have worked to reduce that lag to improve that. So that's something,
you're saying based on latency, like it's like a rubber banding type thing.
It's
so
the kind of thing that's in static to kind of like make it so that it's reading everyone's actions and putting everyone on the same playing field.
Okay. Basically, as long as you have a latency tolerance of 200 milliseconds, you're going to be playing at the same exact reactionary timing of everybody else in the game.
Right.
And that's what's currently hard-coded into the game. Which is, like, a lot of people were like, oh my god, it's the worst thing ever. It's like, you got to think about this, though. They have one server, they had at least one server, there might be a cluster now, running this game in California.
Yeah.
So, for this stage of the game, I wasn't really that upset about it. Yeah. Yes, when they do get...
That's an SE2?
Yeah, it is an SE2.
It is.
Never knew that.
Same exact thing. Same exact thing.
I used to play that thing at like High Masters, and I never knew that.
It's because you're just used to it.
Because it's different. It's way different when you're controlling many things at once, and like the like if a lot of it was just the fact that you're controlling one thing, and like a lot of stuff in StarCraft 2 isn't split second like everything needs to move like immediately right now. Yes, when a Baneling's coming in, you're like, oh, I need to split my Marines, but you still have like a certain period before that happens, so you don't get frustrated.
Jared, you played Zerg, right?
I played Zerg and Terra.
Yeah,
okay,
well,
so
she
easy
just
face.
masked up stuff and threw it at them. You didn't really need to.
So if I would have said I was Protoss, that would have been a little bit more lenient
Yeah,
there.
dude.
Yeah, you gotta land
What?
those force fields. Like everything's gotta be really
What?
precise. But I mean,
Oh my. Oh my gosh.
all right,
Corey's
moving
trying
on.
to start fights today.
Excellent.
Yeah,
They
he's
said
Moving
they're-
on. All right, next topic.
Well, hold on. They're saying they're removing that though. Is that what they're doing, or
They're-
they're making?
they're gonna tone it down,
lessening it, which is good
Okay.
because I mean, once they get the regional servers in place and etc., that they need to.
But
they should.
basically, like Browder said, like I can't really tell the difference, but maybe the players will. But basically, like the game should.
No,
feel-
he said himself that it felt a lot better and a lot
Oh, did he?
smoother
Okay.
and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
At the very end
So
of
in
the segment.
comparison, it's like
gonna-
saying playing Smash on a CRT versus.
It's not that severe, but the quality of life's gonna be better. It's gonna be. It's just gonna feel more responsive. It's
Okay.
It's just gonna be more fun. Like just flat out, it's just gonna feel.
It's
a
an
little-
improvement, is what we're saying, and
Yes,
I'm all aboard.
it's a step up. It's a step
Right
up.
on,
So
right on.
just like a lot of like little things from like that's not something I expected them to come out and say. That's actually there was a Reddit thread popped up about that, and they're immediately just like, yeah, we're working on it. We're making it better. Like that's
Right on.
That's
Okay,
phenomenal.
Cool.
But I think that kind of covers. You guys have anything else you want to talk about from the QA that really stood out to you?
Nothing that's not going to be covered by these next couple of topics.
Sure.
I
Can
don't think
we,
anything else.
real quick, can we talk about the match today
No, that's
and how
that's the next.
and how
topic.
Trick
Yeah.
Slayer kind of got
Yeah, since he's in the
Mr.
chat right now,
Trick Slayer got a little
blow him
wrecked.
up, like-
got a little wrecked on Rehgar today.
So
Come on, man. Come on. That's not cool.
I love you, Trick.
Trick's our friend.
Rex Slayer.
Rick Slayer.
Actually, my awesome pun was in Twitch chat, but I got immediately quelched. Is Trixler himself playing a shaman, or is Trixler shaman himself?
Oh no!
Oh God, Kevin, no.
Oh god, a wrecked car is actually totally
Kevin, no.
Yeah, I heard that pun earlier today, so I'm just gonna ignore it.
I read it, and like the emphasis needs to be there on the words. So like I read it, I was like, "That's like
God.
that." I was like, "What is he talking about?" Oh no, that's terrible.
That's you're a wordsmith, my friend.
All right.
That was beautiful.
Artifacts.
All right.
please, take me away.
He's playing a new hero. He's playing a new hero. It's always very difficult to understand.
Oh yeah, we're just poking fun. Everyone knows.
I mean, yeah. Just to quickly save ourselves from being
We don't want our accounts banned, please, Trick Slayer.
communicated from Blizzard. He played a new hero. It's hard to always tell like how much a hero can take before you're gonna die. But
I just found it funny because they described him as having the same amount of health as like Uther, with like a ton of mobility and stuff. Oh, this guy's gonna be invincible, and then Tim just feeds hard. I love you, Tim. Coops, you wanted to say something?
Nope. I don't think.
No,
So.
Oh.
he's gonna walk away from this one
Not that I
safe.
want to
No.
incriminate myself any further.
He's not touching that fire.
You said you wanted to talk about something else from the dev
No.
talk.
No. Jared wanted to talk about the map, but I think we'll get there. He
Okay.
wanted
Yeah,
to
we'll
talk about the match, but we'll get there when we talk about the map. I think is what I meant to say.
All right, well, let's just segue right into Garden of Terror. Garden of Terror is the new map that's being added to the alpha. It is the 5th map for Heroes of the Storm, and it's kind of like a mesh of Dragonshire and Haunted Mines, I guess, with a night mechanic. So essentially, it's a 3-lane map with a night phase. And at nighttime, these little plant monsters like to come out. As you can see them here, this is... What do they call these?
What?
What do they call what?
Plant
I
horse?
don't know. I mean, like, you can't remember.
Oh,
You can't see always.
Plant whore.
Oh, the plant.
Plant whore.
This is a plant whore.
whores.
or plant,
Yeah,
plant over.
I am
Whore.
playing. I'm saying play. I'm playing whore, right? Whore. Is that how you say plant whore?
Yeah, plant whore.
Plant whore. Okay.
We love you,
Horror.
Kevin. We love you, Kevin.
And these are little ones. So essentially, these little guys, these plant whores, they drop seeds, and you collect the seeds pretty similar to the way you collect the skulls, but you don't have to go underground to a different zone. I actually hate Haunted Mines because it's like a separate map. I don't like that. It's interesting idea. But this takes that, the whole map just changes. Mercenaries go away. These guys come out.
Sorry, Matt made me
Come
laugh.
on, guys.
And you collect the seeds. Now, the big plant whores, they
Focus,
Yes, I turned 24 and
focus.
I'm the youngest one on this show. We're laughing at whores.
they
Okay?
it just Kevin Naki's voice is in my head every time I say it, and it just makes me laugh. I was giggling in the office all day
If he
listening
said
to
it
Naki say
like
it.
twice and maybe just for a second.
But he said it like 100 times.
And he said it like 1,000 times. And then the other guy picked up on it, and he was just like, plant monsters. Yes, plant monsters. That was so funny.
Let's have a petition to
I'm sorry,
rename them.
I love Kevin Naki so much.
Oh, me too.
That was
Called
so
it.
much.
They're going to be named Plant Terrors
Yeah,
soon.
plant terror. I like that. That's a good name. So these plant terrors, they function like a grave golem where they stomp. You kind of have to dodge them and kill them. As you fight them, as you damage them, they're kind of like a giant chest where they kind of drop seeds. So you collect the seeds. They're supposed to be like an objective point, so like an initiation.
I'm sorry. You're saying that the plant horrors have really big chests?
Kevin!
This guy on the show.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Shut your
Okay,
mouth.
so you get seeds, and then you feed the seeds into the thing.
Wait,
and
so
you
the
summon
plant
it.
horrors do a seed and big chests?
Oh my gosh. So you collect the seeds, and the seeds are then used to summon basically a siege vehicle of sorts, very similar to the Dragonite. Each team has a pot of soil or a pile of soil to some extent in their base. Kev can't handle this. I just realized I've been sitting on the
Kevin,
screen.
you can't see your webcam, but Kevin's been dying the
gosh.
entire time.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah, that's my bad there. But yeah, so so I have some questions right away.
All right.
Well, can I ask one real quick? Like,
Go.
Dragonshire was the BlizzCon map, right?
Yes.
And they said they made that like in like 2 weeks. So I'm curious as to, like, this map looks great and all, but why did it take them, like, were they just not working on a new map for because they want to focus on the balance of the game? Like, because they made Dragonshire, it's, you know, considered one of the better maps. Why did this one take so long to make as opposed to Dragonshire, which they said they made within 2 weeks, like before BlizzCon, right?
I mean,
They
there
just
could
kind of
be
like wanted a new map.
we know Team 1 is working on Legacy of the Void as well. We don't know what they're putting their resources on. They could be working on StarCraft. Like, who knows? Maybe, they're probably just thinking, all right, we have 4 maps. We want to just keep trying other things. Their biggest concern probably isn't maps, honestly. I mean, when it comes to
That's what I assume.
balancing a game design and like getting features in the game, maps is like the last thing you're thinking about because there's already 4 there, and they've already redesigned Haunted Mines upper level entirely because they got a lot of feedback that it was bad. So they said, okay, how can we fix this? But yeah, I mean, I don't think that's their top priority. But I mean, as you can see, it is a 3-lane map for those of you that have not seen it. It looks like this. It does turn to night. You can see there are. Let's see. We got giants over here. We got knights here. I think there's 2 giants camps. Yeah, I think it's
2 giants, 2 knights.
yeah,
2 giants, 2 knights, yeah.
yeah.
It's
giants,
pretty.
giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
giants.
it's a very reasonable question for Jared to ask because when it comes down to it, it really doesn't bring anything super new to the table. And I would say overall, like, yeah, it's cool, we're getting a new map, but I'm kind of disappointed with it.
And yeah, it's just like a lot of recycled mechanics. Because again, mines,
Yeah.
skull
Nothing.
seeds, Dragonite, plant, golem.
There's nothing jumping out of me
the-
that's crazy here.
The
You know?
plant golem, though, the cool thing about it is you get to save your seeds from night to night. So if you get a ton of seeds from the plant terrors, just stop.
Calm yourself, son.
Kevin and I are so immature. I'm sorry. I just see him start
All right,
to
Jake,
smirk
it's
and I
fine.
can't
Jake,
hold
me
it
and you will
back.
carry this. Let's go.
And so if you get a ton of seeds from the plant terrors,
Yeah, you could. I get. I think 200. Are you getting at this? Like you can have 200
right,
seeds,
in
and then
theory,
you can summon
have
2 at
200.
once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder if that will be like a really strategy that is utilized quite a bit.
Right, like,
and it could be very strong, but we're not sure. I don't know.
Well,
Now,
they should recycle mechanics. So, like, if you look at StarCraft 2, you'll see a lot of, like, similar, like, either entryways or, like, ways to approach a base or where an expansion is. Maybe, like, they have a mechanic on Haunted Mines, but it's not perfect. So they recycle that mechanic onto a new map with a new layout, and it turns out to be a better map for competitive play or a better map in general. So them recycling mechanics, I don't think is the worst thing. But I do agree with Corey. That map does not look to be like groundbreaking on any level.
Right, like you think
we haven't played it, but
I was expecting our first new map to be like something very different. Something where you have to like retain territory to gain resources, which unlocks knights spawn knights just push a lane every 60 resources you get or something, like it just hires them, like something different. And whereas this really isn't all that different. But
I think it's the theme that gets me the most. Like everything's Warcraft themed. Why
was this Warcraft themed? This just looks like Dragonshire. That's what I don't like.
Well, like Warcraft, when you think of Warcraft and its theme, you think of like this colorful grassiness, or like we don't have any like space maps or like an Inferno Diablo type map is what I meant.
Very true, very true. But again, this doesn't feel like Warcraft at all to me. This feels like League of Legends to me.
I agree with that. It doesn't really have a cool theme that you like that jumps out at you. You know what I mean? It's just like it feels almost very generic.
Like, if it was Warcraft, it would either look very Night Elfy. It would look like Durotar. It would look like, like Stormwind to some extent. But this doesn't look like any of that. It looks like generic fantasy, and that's what they're going for, obviously. But I just think, all right, it looks kind of like a League of Legends map. But I agree wholeheartedly. I want to see, and I want to be on Ire. I want to be on.
I think they need to implement like one major theme for, like, look at Curse Hall. You have the Ravenlord. That's that's from like all the Warcraft franchise. The Ravenlord. You've got Blackheart Bay. You have the pirate and the ship and stuff. Like they need to have like an overall theme that like relatable.
I don't think it's actually Warcraft.
Ravenlord?
There's not a single map that is game specific themed.
I'm talking about the Ravenlord himself. The Ravenlord himself is from Warcraft.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yes, he's from Burning Crusade and Alkanai Crypts.
And I mean,
you get the Ravenlord's mount.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong, but
the whole entire the palace is a giant griffin aviary from Warcraft. It's like the giant griffin thing is like that's the thing from Warcraft.
Every map seems to have something that they're pulling from another universe. But this map's like
towers themselves are called guard towers. Those are the siege towers from Warcraft.
Yeah.
So it's very Warcraft-esque if it's not Warcraft itself.
Yeah.
They're saying it's like just generic, whatever, just kind of generic Heroes Brawler kind of stuff, but it's really just a lot of Warcraft stuff. It's what they know how to do. You know what? I think it'd be really, really cool if they had a map that was like not futuristic times, not like way back times. That's what I'm calling the past. Well, current times, like middle of like
New York
City. Like exactly. How cool would that be? Just like stomping through.
Oh, okay.
Like a city, and there's like cars and stuff.
Cars and stuff.
So sick.
Cars stuff and trains.
It's gonna be interesting. I mean, they have a lot of creative freedom.
And you hire like the U.S. Army to start storming a fort. Who knows? I don't know. Something crazy.
Yeah, they definitely come up with some weird stuff for maps, and we want to see really odd things, and we're not really getting that so far. So I think that's sort of what the basis
Alpha. They're just
exactly.
They're just toying around with things. I think they really just want to toy around with the knight mechanic, but I'm just thinking about for the future when it happens. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's.
I mean, the map's probably going to be good to play on, but like just thematically, and like just the story behind the map, I don't really get into. But I mean, it's probably going to. It looks fun to play on. I can't wait to play on it.
Yeah.
Anything that's not Haunted Mines.
I mean, and like you said, I mean, maybe this would end up replacing Haunted Mines. Who knows? In the long run, but it sounds really fun. I'm actually really stoked to play it. And the actual the Garden Terror, the big dude, he can what are his abilities? He has 2. He's got the big root.
He's got a silence and a root, right?
And that sounds so useful. Like the Dragonite is just like used for pushing. But the Garden Terror, you could actually strategically use him to like, all right, you can use him for defensive stuff. All right, they're pushing against us. We need to stop this team fight, and you could like set up a ridiculous wombo combo where they don't want to push. So you could save that Pocket Guard Terror for defensive plays, which would honestly, I see that being like a really good option because I think there's going to be a lot of heroes that are just flat out better at pushing without it, and that's something you use when you're on the back foot to try to like stall and use defensively. So it'll be interesting to see how the meta develops on that map. But that's a really cool option to have, because when you have the shrines on Dragonite, you got to grab the Dragonite. It's like, all right, we can grab it, we got to grab it, and then you just push with it. But having the flexibility of using Garden Terror whenever you want, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have a huge amount of... I mean, again, we need to play on it to really get... So
Yeah.
anything we say now is just kind of like
It's
guesses,
a new map.
themes.
We couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah.
want new maps. So
Yeah, we definitely
keep
been
at it.
waiting for it, so... Yeah.
I know that whole conversation sounded negative, but we're all hyped for this map, and we can't wait.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. It's just like I think we just had really high hopes for like something new and flashy, and it's like not necessarily that, but it's definitely good. It's definitely not a negative thing to have a new map. It's really exciting. It looks fun. I'm stoked to play on it, but yeah, I agree. Definitely not a negative thing. Cool. So moving on, I think the next big topic is obviously our new hero.
we're just we're pushing out the bad stuff till the end. Or just can we? Is there anything in between that we can talk about? Oh, this hero. Yeah, let's talk about this hero.
Well,
again, he looks really cool, really fun.
Who
Who knows how strong he's going to be? Like,
So,
numbers-wise, it's
Kev,
really...
just stop talking for
What?
just a minute, because we haven't even introduced him. We have a new hero in the game,
sorry.
and his name is Rehgar Earthfury. Rehgar Earthfury is, in fact, a new support hero added to the game. He is a orc shaman that was trained by Thrall. He was like a gladiator, like sold into slavery. You can read his wiki if you really care about the lore side of things, but we're going to talk about how
And you should, because the lore is awesome.
It's pretty cool. He's but you can.
Is it? That was all comic books, wasn't it? There
He-
wasn't
he
most
was
of his...
all-
He
Yeah.
has been in he is in World of Warcraft. Like, he never had a major theme, but you can physically walk up to him and be like, "There's Rehgar."
Yes.
In physical, like in WoW, you can actually go up to his character, but he's never been like a prominent thing.
He is, like, at core a comic book character, and for the World of Warcraft comic book series, which I didn't actually know existed, but that's pretty cool. You can see here, you can turn the wolf. We'll jump into his abilities in a minute here. But this video, they actually show off a ton of new heroes. Not a ton, but like more than you'd expect. Like, if you look in the top right here, that's a troll with an axe, from what I can tell. I think that's like Zul'jin. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like a tusk right here, little axe in his hand. This is some kind of ghoul. That's like a ghoul covered in stuff. This is another like ice-looking skull. You can see a new Barak right here. This is like probably a little minion of a new Barak's that he can summon. Probably
A scarab.
the scarab, yes.
Scarab, yes.
So they actually showed off a lot of just like little subtle things. You can see his
Did
blood
you see
loss.
Witch Doctor in the trailer? Because he looked awesome.
They showed
Chen.
Chen is a little bit further into the
Chen's
video.
in there, yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, Chen Stormstout is right here. Me and my girlfriend just did the quest line for Chen Stormstout and Lily. It was great.
Shameless self plugs.
World of Warcraft, right?
Yeah, and WoW. Yeah, we've been playing WoW together.
The only thing I learned from this trailer is there's one team that's totally cheating, because they have like a Dragon Knight, 5 or 6 heroes, a whole bunch of ghouls that they shouldn't be able to, like, it's just like, okay, first off, hold on here. And then, the 5-man beats all of them, which means that they're clearly slowing down the anti-snowball stuff, which I'm really happy about.
like watching this trailer, like, you know how they're in the Gladiator Arena, it just got me hyped for like the map editor. Like, think if someone made like classic World of Warcraft arenas, like you got the Blade's Edge arena and stuff, and you did like 3v3s with like Blizz heroes. Like, that would be so cool. Like, I can't wait for like. There's so many creative people out there, and so many people good with map editors. I can't wait till it's live. There's gonna be so much fun things you can do outside of ranked play.
I agree entirely. That's the exact thoughts I had as well. So that's really, really exciting. But Kev, I know you want to talk about his abilities, so why don't you tell us the abilities that he has?
Sure, buddy. So Rehgar, he's the shaman of the Earthen Ring. That sounds
Shaman.
weird. Shaman. What do you say?
I say shaman, but continue.
I say shaman as well.
I don't
It's
know
fine.
actually how it's actually supposed to be pronounced, but
It's pronounced shaman.
oh.
Jake and I are right, Kevin.
So is it horror or horror? I don't know.
That's open
Plus a 2. You guys know how to pronounce things. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong on that one. Anyway, he's got his one ability is chain heal. So he basically just has a heal that bounces off of nearby allies, which is pretty cool. He's got Lightning Shield. Rehgar's attunement to the elements allows him to infuse an ally or himself with the primal power of lightning, which jolts nearby enemies over a short period of time. And then Earthbind Totem, which is he throws down a totem that basically slows the movement of nearby enemies, allowing Rehgar to control space and prevent enemies from fleeing the battle. I don't know what they did with this description, but I don't think Rehgar can control space. That's clearly Palkia, the Pokemon from Diamond? Palkia? No,
Not
that's
going there.
space.
Not
yeah,
going
space.
there.
Pearl. Pokemon Pearl.
All the videos and stuff kind of depict him as like this angry, bloodlusty orc, but in his lore, he's actually the like if Thrall were to have Angel and a devil on his shoulder, Rehgar was the one who was like, no, we should keep at least some form of alliance with the Alliance, some form of treaty between them. And it was Grom who was like, no, kill them all. So
But
there's a little lore for you guys. Rhaegar's, a good guy.
Are you sure you're right about this now?
Yes, I haven't been wrong about lore since episode 1, okay? Kubi.
Oh,
Kubi.
good times.
He looks just so cool. But he's suffering from female battle armor problems. His chest is just exposed. Does he just not need chest armor? Is it because they want to show off his glorious pecs? I think that's a bit racy, and I think I think they should have a little bit more coverage of his body because I don't appreciate this.
I'm intimidated.
Well, what are his heroics, Kevo?
Oh yeah, his heroics. He's got those. That's a thing that he has. He's got bloodlust. In times of great need, the shaman can stir the blood of their allies, awakening an intense rage and ferocity within them. Rehgar can use bloodlust to temporarily increase attack and movement speeds for both nearby allied heroes and himself.
This is good. We haven't really had anything that's jumping out.
Bloodlust is OP and WoW. It's gonna be OP here too.
There's really been nothing that's been like a huge buff to your whole team that I can think of.
Outside of Shadowstalk.
Yeah, but I mean like toe to attack abilities. Like this is the first one. So this should be very interesting. It'll shake things up quite a bit.
Oh
I
yeah.
think.
Yeah, I think there's Raynor's buff from Art of War.
Yeah, there's a few things like ETC.
I think that's it, but there's very few. This is like on a massive scale. Like slight little buff. This is like move speed and attack speed.
Like during the video today in the show match when we saw the Bloodlust Dark Archon, I was just like, oh my god, that is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like,
Did they give numbers at all? Because I didn't see any numbers. Like what % and stuff? Did you guys happen to see that?
I don't think so.
No.
Because I'm curious as to
for
see,
some
like,
reason 20 and 20 is jumping out at me, but I don't have any.
That's just kind of like the basis number for like a lot of things though, is 20%. So I can see it being that. That's a smart thing to assume, but I just didn't know if they actually said anything. Either way,
I'm really scared about the level 20, which is it becomes global and affects all mercs and minions.
Gosh, we'll talk about the talents. Just
what?
We'll talk about the talents.
We'll talk about the talents when we do a deep dive.
Yeah.
We actually get to play
I
them.
agree with that.
But anyway, his other heroic ability, Ancestral Healing. While Chain Heal is best used for healing multiple allies, Rehgar can concentrate the healing powers of his ancestors' noble spirits and focus them upon a single ally, mending even the gravest of wounds.
Now, they said this is the strongest heal in the game.
Originally, it was a full heal.
Period.
Which is they were like
it heals for more than the entire duration of Tranquility.
Well, that's according to them. They said it was the single largest heal in the game.
Maybe it meant single target heal. Like I don't know. Anything healing more than Tranquility sounds absurd.
Well, the 20 is an AoE heal, so.
Yeah, I don't know. They said it was initially a full heal, where if you were Stitches at 1%, it's just heal you to full. Just whoop.
I'm glad they changed that because that sounds a bit extreme. No, Rhaegar's cool because like he's the first true hero in game that it is clear he can be played like truly complete. Like you can go DPS Rhaegar or you can go healing Rhaegar.
I would say Tassadar kind of fits that right now. Well, not even right now. I can't say right now he does.
Kind of.
He's just all deep.
Theory.
If they nerfed his storm so that it wasn't the most damaging thing in the entire universe, then yes, you could go both ways. But if you don't go storm, then you have another support on your team. You want more assassins on your team, not supports.
Yeah, it's sad but true.
I don't think Tessera was designed for that though, but Rehgar definitely feels like he was designed to be able to play multiple ways.
I wouldn't say that's the case. I mean, given that they gave him an Archon, and then they gave him a space controlling ability, and then he has things that like buff his auto attack or has slow on his auto attack. I think that they meant for that to be flexible.
They definitely want Tessera to be able to DPS, but right now I think he's more DPS than he should be.
Yeah, absolutely. No one's arguing.
But they definitely designed Tessera to be flexible, for sure. He wouldn't have Archon and Dark Archon if they didn't intend for him to have an aggressive side. They're not going to be like, oh, you're a healer, oh, suddenly you're not a healer. Like, you know, they want to be able to fit that flexibility role. A lot of heroes don't feel that way. Like Brightwing, they already nerfed her Q, and she didn't have like that ridiculous DPS as it was. So I'm a little confused as to why they nerfed her what's it called, Sticky Flare, or Sticky Flare is a talent. I can't believe I forgot the name of it. Arcane Flare.
Oh, yeah, Arcane Flare.
But
it's amazing how much that one challenge change like completely nerfed her damage. By the way,
it's ridiculous.
Like,
it's so bad.
No one like thinks of her as damage anymore. Before it was kind of like, yeah, you can actually do some decent harassment.
She was scary, but
it's rare. It's rare to have a hero that is like. Yeah,
I will rephrase that. It is cool that we are willing to see that Blizzard is willing to make a hero that does not have a single goal in mind. Like a lot of heroes, like Gazlo, he's a pusher, he's a farmer. That you look at Keratin, she's an initiator. But this guy has multiple clear ways to play him. That was like I don't know. It's cool that they're willing to do that.
And
that's what we want to see.
So,
we want that
exactly.
because that adds to so much more flexibility in the game. As I have like, well, as a Tessera, I don't know, is he going to build damage or is he going to be a support? Like that's
it'll make him a priority pick for like scrims because you can pick him and say the enemy team. Say based off their picks, you don't need two supports. Bam, he's damaged. Or they have a lot of bursts, so all of a sudden you can just spec into heals. Like it adds so much strategy to the top level play and like scrimming and stuff. Like he's a great hero.
He's a great god.
And I hope that they can work the other heroes to be as flexible in the future. Really, because it's so cool to see that type of.
I'm so excited for Rehgar.
Right. Yeah. So like let's just compare him really quick to Tyrande. Like, Tyranda's supposed to fit this middle of the road. And don't get me wrong, Tyrande definitely works in some compositions. She's actually very commonly used in drafts right now. We see Tyrande paired with characters like ETC who can support her healing and stuff. But it would be nice if you could spec her to have more healing than she currently has. It would be nice to give her that additional heal. Like, what if instead of True Shot Aura, she has Tickle Me Heal Aura or something that just heals around her. Something that lets you switch her up, because True Shot Aura is like such a common pick. Like you're gonna grab that and then everyone's getting that benefit, but what if everyone held health regen instead?
Yeah,
now, that doesn't necessarily fit the lore of like hunters, but she's like half priest, half hunter, half I don't even know what. She's like some unique like class as it is, so I mean, Rehgar is considered a warrior, shaman, gladiator. Like that's not a class, and yet he's a support, and that really shows in his playstyle. Because even if you're playing the healing style with him, he can be hyper aggressive. Because we ran through his abilities, but his hero trait is actually Spirit Wolf, which basically his mount is an instant cast wolf that doesn't get knocked out of when he gets hit. So he has a get out, get in mechanic, and even if you're just running in to heal someone, running in to throw that chain heal in, he's going to be very aggro, like very all over the place, jumping in the battle, jumping out of the battle, throwing down totems. He just sounds like even though he's a support, he's going to be in the front line a lot.
Yeah. Like, this goes back to the conversation we've all had multiple times, and we've seen it on Reddit and stuff, that the classifications for heroes are very vague. Like the warriors, the assassins, specialists, and support. So like, yeah, he's technically a support, but he kind of falls in that weird middle ground. Like, is he an assassin? He's a support. So
yeah,
I don't know.
No, it's gonna
it's he might be a support, but he definitely has other roles. And I don't know. Like, I'm just so hyped. Like, I am more hyped about him than I was about Murky. Like, he looks so fun.
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, he looks like the first, like every god. I've been playing too much Smite. I'm sorry. Every hero that's been added.
I think it's worse than Champion, man.
Yeah, no, it's getting bad. Every hero that's been added to the game, like, I don't know. This one just feels different for some reason. Like, looking back at all the other ones, this one feels like he's going to be extremely OP. I don't know. I'm just this guy just looks perfect to me. I don't know why.
Looks like our viewers agree. They are also quite excited about this guy. Yeah. There's one person that voted for was Kel'Thas. I got a feeling that's got to be Matt.
Where's Kel'Thas? Let's take a look at this.
All I want is my Jaina Proudmoore.
I mean, I mean, for me, Rehgar, he looks, he's very diverse, and he looks like he could be a lot of fun. It's all just really dependent on numbers, whether or not all of those builds actually will do something if you spec into them, or if not. That's, I think, what I'm really kind of hesitant on. He was doing okay damage. Like, I was kind of looking at the numbers that he was popping out, and it was a little bit less, I think, than most sports.
He was hitting harder than Stitches.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think
I remember noting that.
Tyrande. Somebody's gonna yell at me already on Reddit for that one.
Tyrande.
Tyrone works too.
Tyrande.
Tyrande
hits a little bit harder, and I think Tassadar, of course, will do more DPS, but we'll see. We'll see where he lies. And I'm actually kind of interested in Ancestral Healing more so than Bloodlust, because I think there's already enough attack speed, move speed buffs in the game. If you have an ETC, why would you need another one?
But that's the nice thing about this. Like, Bloodlust is gonna, like, so many comps. It's gonna be such a terrifying thing.
Yeah,
like
such a game changer.
God, like I just imagine a Bloodlusted Vala just as the most terrifying thing as she's strafing. Stroofing. But Ancestral Healing is great too. So many heroes just have the one heroic that you get, but he's definitely the kind of, like, he doesn't have anything bad about him, from what we can tell. Yeah. We haven't played him,
and all this is very speculative until we play.
Yeah,
right. Goes without
saying. I don't know. The hype train for Rehgar is pretty
definitely.
Am I the only one that always wants to say Rehgar Targaryen? Like, I've almost said it like 4 times now.
Actually, that's what I kept thinking, Rehgar, like Rehgar Targaryen, and I also kept thinking Rengar from League of Legends.
Yeah, I've done that one once too.
It's driving me crazy. Anyway.
I think Rexar way too often, personally.
Oh, Rexar. I'm just waiting for, I'm really hoping, because they didn't throw it on him, I'm hoping that Thrall's gonna have Wind Fury.
He has to. Like,
because that was the only reason I ever played Enhancement Shaman. So, wow, I said Shaman now. Shaman in World of Warcraft. Like, I used to I would run random alts. I probably have about 5 or 6 level 40 alts in World of Warcraft that are just Shaman that all have Wind Fury.
I just want to say, they made him a shaman, and I was so certain that
he's a shaman, and I'm certain that he's. I was sure to do swell.
He's an enhanced shaman, essentially, right? Even though he's support, he's kind of like a mix. But, like, I really thought we'd see Manatide Totem on a support shaman.
This shaman design was, like, really weird by them. Like, they just picked, like, oh, let's take something from Elemental, and let's take something from Enhancement, let's take something from Resto, and, like, just kind of throw it together. Like, this is not a true of anything.
Right, so,
it's really a weird design. And
I think I said, I don't know if it was last week or what, I think I said, I'll be really shocked if he has Wolves. They'll save the Wolves for Thrall. And I still think Thrall will summon 2 Ghost Wolves or something like that, because that's what he had in Warcraft 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but Pars just said it in chat. Like, they did say this is based off the Warcraft 3 shaman, which it is. But that's not what we were expecting going into it. Is what we mean.
Yeah. So I mean, Thrall will probably replicate his Warcraft 3 build, but we'll see. I mean, again, Manatide Totem. I think if they're removing, I think mana is going to become more important as they keep to tweak the game. And I think stuff like Innervate and Manatide Totem...
Not with artifacts in game. I mean, what?
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, gosh. All right, okay. I think it's time. Are we ready for this?
Any final thoughts on Rehgar?
I'm hyped.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun.
I'm actually not that crazy about
Rehgar. I can't wait to be playing him this weekend if he comes out. Jake, are you excited to play him this weekend if he comes out?
Oh, gosh.
Probably going to be playing them nonstop.
Yeah, Jared's trolling me because I'm actually I'm going to work at San Diego Comic-Con, like flagging out.
Oh God, my hard life as working in esports, making esports money, hanging out at Comic-Con.
I get to go to the greatest con in the world right now. Oh God.
See, I like Hero so much that I'd rather be sitting at home playing Rehgar. So I'm actually quite upset because I could be playing Rehgar, and instead I'll be looking at girls in scandalous outfits, dressed as my favorite characters. It sounds tragic, I know. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's probably. I don't know where to go from there. I'm just gonna clap my hands.
Artifact.
Yes. All right. It's time.
No. You can't go artifacts yet because we haven't looked at our straw polls for our favorite master skins yet.
All right. Oh my God, the distractions are so real.
Warcraft master skins. Stitches is up there, tied with Falstad.
Tied. Oh.
Tied. Hopefully this isn't the right straw poll.
It's really cool, but Stitches is way cooler.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Falstad, but I would go with Stitches as well. But I'm not. I can't say I'm shocked. Hopefully it's the right straw poll. Yes, it is. Tassadar, the favorite, and honestly, none of these were that exciting, so I think that's probably an easy pick.
Yeah.
I mean, Zagara's gonna be like really cool. Maybe if like a really good gust of wind hits her, she's gonna like fly into the air. And tie her on a string.
She has a frisbee on her head, so why not?
She has a frisbee on her head. Well,
she's ready for speech each time Zagara.
I kind of got slightly angry when I saw that. I'm not gonna lie.
Coops, why don't you throw the artifact straw poll in the chat?
Yes, it's time.
And
it is.
Should we do artifacts or progression first?
I hate
artifacts.
You so much.
I don't want to wait any longer, Jake.
Yeah, can we just talk about the artifacts?
Cool. So we can end on a good note because I actually kind of like progression, but.
It's
good enough artifacts. Yeah.
It's artifacts.
All right.
All right.
So if you guys have not heard, Blizzard is introducing a new system called Artifacts, where essentially you will get 3 slots that are used outside of the game. You get a gem slot, a relic slot, and a trinket slot. Now these slots are used to customize the stats on your hero. You have a wide range of choices, but you have to buy it to get it. Now you don't have to spend real money. You can spend many hours farming.
Can you spend real money for them though? I don't remember.
I had the impression that you could only spend gold on them.
Yeah, I thought it was only gold for them.
I don't know where I read that, but if Jared's saying it too, then it makes me think.
I think it was only gold.
No, that's still very likely. But again, this is a grind. The core concept is this is a massive grind and a massive. I mean, I like twitched right there because I'm so like annoyed with it. But gold sync. Like
okay, all right. Well, you're talking about gold sync, and if I ran the numbers right, because it's like it scales up for each thing that you go to upgrade. If I picked out about 7 or 8 that you would probably need if you were going to run, like if I'm going to play a tank, if I'm going to play an assassin, I'm going to play a support. Play one of each of those, and you have the upgraded gems for each. I think it costs about 42k gold to upgrade everything to the max to be at like that level spot.
Now, they recently just like made it so you get gold for each win and each
That's going
loss.
to take so long.
But
think about that.
It's not
42k gold?
Well,
you get 40 gold.
I'll go last because I got a lot of...
Well, let's just make sure people understand.
That's just that. That's it. When you say gold sync, think about that.
Let's make sure people understand the scaling. So, like,
keep in mind,
like, just let me explain. If you lose, you get 10. If you win, you get 40, right? And then there are daily quests. Now that's 1 quest a day, and you might get 250. You might get 500, and that's hero quests. On top of that, you get some gold. But if you're at level 40, I mean, they're changing the progression system, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I think progression. You're also getting gold though. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you do.
So
you do. But
it might be daily quest plus every match plus progression, which would be a lot. Don't underestimate how much that could potentially be. So we really do need to wait for those patches. I'm not upset about how much gold it costs right now.
I am on the same boat as like, I think Kevin and I are on the same page. A lot of people are complaining about certain aspects of it, which they should, but the reason we dislike it is on a completely different.
Because they could always change how much gold they cost. Because I mean, right now they are a little bit ridiculous. Somebody did numbers on it. It was like if you want 3 artifacts to be maxed out, it's 16,500 gold for 3 artifacts. If you want to play one position, you know exactly what artifacts you want. It's 16,000. That's a lot of gold. That's more than.
Any god.
That's obviously 6,500 more than any of the most expensive heroes in the game.
You say God one more time.
I don't know why it's happening. I apologize.
That's money in the
gonna
bank.
be a point. Next one's a point.
First day back on the show, Money in the Bank, right?
That's obviously a lot. Looking at something like League of Legends, where a rune page can cost anywhere between 5k IP and 15k IP if you go for like the most expensive runes in the entire game, which some top builds need, but not many. Normally it's around 7 to 8k. That's still only a little bit more than the most expensive champion you're going to buy in League of Legends. The money is... The gold is a concern. Yes, it is. But I have much more deep-seated meta concerns than just that.
This is like the gold. The gold is bad. There are definitely
the
way worse parts to this. Yeah,
that's the surface.
And when we say something like 42k gold is like the best of the bad things,
yeah.
Like, even if it is grindy, that doesn't bother me at all. Like I can grind whatever. I play the game all like I know it's bad for the most of the players, but that's not what could.
But that's a big problem.
Overall it's a big problem, but not for me. The thing I hate about it is this is supposed to be for, I guess, customization. This isn't customization. There's nothing like.
Yeah, it's a barrier.
This is not customization at all. Like.
It's like
this does not add depth to your characters at all. Like, let me get this one damage thing for Vol. Like, that's not customized. Like, if they want to add customization to games, make the talent tree more broad, give you more options, make that cooler. But this is not customization. Like, I don't feel like, oh, hey, my Malfurion's unique because I did this with my artifacts. No, this isn't customization. This is just like stuff you have to do because
people are gonna min-max it real fast.
Okay, so yeah, that's one of the interesting things. And I mean. We run into these types of things in League of Legends too, like where Tristana, like they kind of figured out, well, Tristana's got a lot of AP scaling, which if you don't know is like magic damage, but actually if you put a whole bunch of attack runes on her and you mastery her so she's all attack damage focused, she's actually one of the heaviest carries attack damage instead of AP. So there's that makes the depth of a character possibly more. Like maybe Barb could do a ton more tanking, when right now she's kind of more damage based, or maybe she does a crap ton more damage.
More lifesteal items. Yeah. She's like unkillable. Cool
so
stuff
that makes somebody a little bit more diverse. That makes the hero probably more likely to show up in different ways than we originally designed, right? What I think that's going to happen, though, is we're going to run into the exact same thing that happens with Tristana. If anybody builds AP Tristana, it's like, what the hell are you doing? It happens sometimes, but like for the most part, you find out, okay, AD Tristana is way better. I'm going to build AD Tristana 100% of the time. It doesn't actually... I mean, it kind of changes the design of the character. It makes it a little bit more interesting. But to me, it's like they're going to figure out what the hell the best thing is going to be very quickly, and then that just becomes the thing that you do.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's one other problem.
So that's my biggest problem is competitive. So I look at games like RTSs, and I love RTSs because at the beginning of every game, you start with nothing, you build up, you beat the other person. There's never, ever a chance that they will have access to something that just because they played more than you, that they will win.
You're at equal footing no matter what.
I am always for equal footing. Like and especially because if I want to play with my friends who are like level 4, I don't want to go into a game and just beat the crap out of a whole bunch of newbies who've never played the game before and have no runes, and it's only because I played the game a whole bunch that I'm like walking in with Diablo with 20% more health.
Let me interject right now because you guys played League, and League is the most played game in the world, right? Supposedly, I don't really know a lot about it, but all my friends...
You go ahead and say it, yeah.
All my friends play League, right? All my friends play it, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to play this game. Well, I started playing, and then I didn't even know about the runes. I didn't know this like second page even existed because I don't read. I just click play and I choose my character and I go. And one of my friends is like, "Oh, you need to set up your runes," and I'm just like, "Well, all right. What is this?" So I do it, and he's like, "Oh, well, you have to unlock it and stuff." I'm like, "Oh, so that's why I'm losing to people. They're actually stronger than me," and I quit. And I came back, and I came back, and I tried playing again probably a year later. And the same thing, like, oh, you have to hit, like, I don't even know what the max level was. 40?
30.
Is it 30? I never hit the max level, but just because it's, like, so discouraging knowing that there are people that just because they've played the game more with me have an advantage.
That's not true, though. Like, because of the way MMR works, you're going to be going against people who have had the exact same amount of games, and they're going to have roughly the exact same amount of runes purchased and stuff.
Yeah,
it's not like you're going to be going against someone who's level 30 and has everything.
If I'm solo queuing. But I was playing with friends who are all level 40. So it's matching me against people that are higher level, and therefore I felt worthless. So I'm put in this scenario where I feel weak. My friends almost feel like I'm a burden, because not only I new at this game that I'm trying to get into, but I'm inherently just weaker. So as a core game designer, just trying to get people into the game, that is such a deterrent. Like, I don't know. I think it's awful.
All right. Do me a favor. I just posted in Skype a video. If you could play that video and switch to the 4 screens thing. I'm sorry I didn't actually put this in the show notes. This is a video of Dyrus playing for his first time on Brazil, losing to an intermediate bot, because intermediate bots, which is like you can play against AI and they call them bots. The intermediate AI actually have talents, actually have runes, and of course Dyrus playing for his first time. Doesn't have runes set up or anything, and he's losing to a bot because it has runes and he didn't. And this is exactly the problem. Is that
I think I'm in like the 0.1% who, like, if you want to get the good stuff, just grind and get it. Like, I'm from like the hardcore WoW raiders. Like, you didn't get to do the good raids unless you grinded for the gear. It's the same situation. You got to play the games to get the good stuff. That's not the problem. Like, the system is crap, but that's not one of the problems I have.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, this is literally like the differences between a bot beating one of the most professional players in a game just because it has runes.
No.
Like, that's not equal footing.
I wouldn't even like. I don't think this is a good argument though. Like linking this thing, like him getting one shot by a bot. I don't think that's.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe. I was given this video and somebody was saying that like he was trying pretty hard, and it's just, to me, it's just equal footing is like everything, and just getting rid of it just bothers the hell out of me.
A good analogy to look at this is if I play, let's say I play a lot of Stitches and I play a lot of Barb, and then I'm on a team comp and someone's like, hey Corey, you know how to play Brightwing? Can you switch to Brightwing real quick for me? Oh wait, I can't, because I don't have those runes.
That's another
The runes aren't that powerful though. Like, these numbers aren't that huge. Like, okay, say you have the 15% health thing, and you play because you play Diablo. It's not like the end of the world. Like, oh, I guess I have to use my 15% health bonus on Brightwing. Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's not like you're like have this huge disadvantage because you're having to use a health rune. It's not like you're gonna.
That's an extra ability. Like, it's an extra cast of a spell onto the Diablo. How is that not a big deal though?
Game breaking though. Unless you're at the top level, you're not gonna lose because like everyone around you is gonna have.
That's what people want to see though. They want to see that.
40% extra mana.
Yeah,
40% extra mana is not going to cause you to lose.
It's absolutely ridiculously huge. And the other, just like the other thing I just want to say, like, if it isn't broken, why fix it? Like, this is such an unnecessary thing to add to the game. Like, the game's great as it is, and 40%, like 40.
It's gonna make
disgusting.
a difference.
40% mana is disgusting. It's so much.
And
but it's not like it's not an automatic loss though. It's not like you can't blame it on your runes. That's just like a stupid excuse because you lost. Like, yes, there is an advantage you get from it, and you want that, but you can't be like, oh, I didn't have the right runes, so I lost. No, just play a little bit better and then grind out and get the right runes eventually.
So that's like saying like literally we're playing Melee and it's Fox Dittos, and every stock one Fox starts with 20%. Like, it's the same concept. Like, if you go head-to-head Nazebo versus Nazebo, and one has 20% health more, and you play perfectly, and you both play perfectly, one player wins. That's bad. That's awful.
Well, until you get to the point where you're playing perfectly, you don't have, like, a reason to complain. And if you're at the point where you're playing with perfectly, you're going to have the right runes.
That's beyond the point.
Like,
the whole thing with
Heroes... The system itself is flawed. The way the artifacts work and the amount you get and the numbers they get you, that's where the flaw is.
But it's... But if
saying
it's
because
two
you didn't
equal,
grind as much.
If it's two equal skilled opponents, right, going against each other. First off, I want to just interject real quick. Apparently, I was given that video under false pretenses. Apparently, Dyrus was trolling hard. Somebody told me that he actually went try hard and was losing to a bot.
I don't know
I
what
retract
the
my
video
statements
was.
before.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay, Kev.
So I have made a mistake, and I'll admit it. So erase that argument. Anyway, if you have two people of equal skill, one of them's got, say, 2 artifacts, one for 20% extra mana, one for 40%, 20% extra health, and one for 40% extra mana, and the other person's got maybe 5 and 10 on health and mana. You don't think that that's going to cause that one person who's got the lower artifacts to lose?
No, that's not, like, the system itself is what's flawed. I like the idea of customization. I think being able to design your runes and mastery for your playstyle is a great way to play.
Maybe we're having the wrong argument here. I think what you're trying to say is things customized is fine, but everything should be level. Like,
yeah, like,
if I go into
what I'm trying to say is this specific system is stupid and bad. Like, looking at all of these runes and what they give you, that's like, there's no customization. It's like, oh, I'm just going to take 20% health, or I'm only going to do this. I like the idea of customization. I like what the rune, like, take a game. Have you ever played Path of Exile versus Diablo 3? When you look at the leveling up system in those games, Path of Exile has such a unique and just large system to where you can design one character 60 different ways because of that. And that's where the skill comes, and that's where it's cool, where you can make these things unique. There is nothing unique about this system where, like, you're just like, oh, let me just... Like, on Demon Hunter, you're going to build the exact same way every single time. And every Demon Hunter, like, unless you're really, like, not understanding how Demon Hunter works, every Demon Hunter is going to take the exact same rooms. That's not customization.
Yes. It's cookie cutter.
No,
it's all going to be cookie cutter.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, that was
I'm sorry, I'm not conveying my thought well here. My problem is with the way the system's designed, not with, like,
that's kind of what I was going with Tristana before, is like, once they figure out that's probably going to be the best build, I mean, sure, you can play AP, and it's got some advantages over AD, but, you know, for the most part, we see AD Tristana. You're going to find out the one thing, you're not going to have many other different ways you're going to play, you know, a hero like that. But I do see your point with something like Path of Exile. That was an extraordinarily well done game.
But let's just say they're trying to keep this game simple. We're never going to see a complex system like that. They're trying to keep this game super simple, like easy to pick up, like just pick up and play. And I think this whole concept of like you needing to grind is a deterrent from that, because again,
I don't mind the grind. It's just the way they're doing. Like, I like grinds. I like the fact that I've played this game.
If I want to grind,
years.
I'm gonna go play World of Warcraft. Fact.
Yeah. I mean, if I want to grind for something, I want to grind for a game that I'm playing against, just like NPCs and stuff like that.
Diablo.
This is a game where it's going to be competitive,
right? Like if I'm gonna go play, if I'm gonna go play Halo, I'm gonna go play with my buddies, and we all have the same exact skills. This is a multiplayer game that you pick up and you play with your friends. I don't want to just like sit there and have to grind. I want my grind to be strictly, all right, I'm moving towards unlocking this new character. That's enough for me, because like by the time there's 80 characters in the game, there's plenty to spend your gold on. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I like the pure skill thing, but like when you look at a game like League of Legends, like whenever you see someone bust out something random, like, oh my god, he's going AP Ezreal and he just won in LCS, like, this is a step in that direction where you can have this customization that makes you more unique.
But that's what the talent should be.
Well, that's why I said at the start, they shouldn't have done this, and they should have just expanded the talent system. Like, the whole system is flawed. I like the idea of customization and you getting some form of like advantage based off how you build your stuff.
Yeah, we all want to see that.
I mean, honestly, this game does need a little bit more customization, and I'm not going to disagree with that at all.
I don't think.
I think it'd be real. I mean, I think there's a ton of different ideas, and I honestly, there's also, of course, we have to throw in this idea that this is just some sort of thing for, this is, I mean, literally Browder said it, like, people are going to be like, oh, I have all this gold, what am I going to do with all this gold? It's like, no, they're looking for a way for people to put money, or gold, into things so they spend money elsewhere.
I had that point, too. I had written
I'm sitting on 14k gold right now. I'm sitting on 14k gold right now. There's no heroes for me to buy. Like,
yeah, but there's only 26.
27.
I'm just saying, like, there is that problem, though, that there is not enough money for, like, people who do play this game and
way too much, yes. But the thing is that the people who play the game a lot are not going to be the general population.
Oh, I'm not saying this was a good idea for them. This is not like, that's not a valid excuse to make the system. I'm just saying I can see why, like, where they're going.
I can see exactly where they're going.
They are wrong. This is bad, but
I'd be fine if it's like a one-time investment. You unlock the slot. It's like, oh, I unlocked relics, I unlocked this, and I unlocked that, and then you don't have to upgrade them. You just like have everything after unlocking it. and everyone has the same exact stats for that available, I'm cool with that. That's fine.
I even have problems with that in itself because
I'm okay with
you upgrade it outside the game. That's the other problem. Like, you don't know what map you're going to be on right now. Like, you don't know who you're going to be playing against. Like, why can't we do this stuff?
That's a really good point.
That's alpha. That's alpha. So I think
of course it's alpha, but like that's
they said it before that they were going to have it's going to be like probably how
League of Legends, where you can pick your runes and masteries.
As you pick your
where it's
hero.
like already set up.
Yeah.
And then you could probably just set them up before you get into a game and be like,
Yeah.
you know, if you're going into ranked play, you're probably going to know what map, what everything is going to happen.
So
later on because it's alpha.
Imagine the character select screen on the bottom. There's like a little tab for your runes. You just pick your runes.
That's
So
easily fixed.
Before you hit lock into your hero or whatever, even then, you just during draft mode, you lock into your runes then.
I just want to quickly clarify. Like, I think this whole thing is bad, and the way they're doing it is bad. I just want my whole point was I like customization and I like being able to change your stats because it just adds more skill to the game. It's like a form of strategy.
That's fair.
And
it adds skill. It adds versatility. Things can people can do different things and can come up with different ways to use a hero. I am not going to disagree there.
Me personally, on a level, I'm okay with grindy stuff. Like, I'm okay with having the numbers we all know are going to be tweaked. There's no way this gold cost is going to sit.
And especially, I think that's not the only numbers that's going to be tweaked. Stuff like 20% extra health is freaking ridiculous.
It's 15%. You keep saying 20. It's 15.
That was 20.
It's still a lot. It's still a lot.
Yeah,
5% is a lot. 5% is a lot.
The difference here is that League of Legends also, when they do runes, they do flat amounts, so it only affects the very beginning of the game, and it helps a lot with beginning.
Aren't there scaling items in League? I thought there were scaling.
There's some, but I mean, it's still even not a ton. It's not 15%.
It's like 1.6%.
40%.
Yeah.
Anyway. The other thing that I wanted to say was that another problem that League of Legends ran into was that the jungle was broken for lower levels because they needed to balance the game around runes. They had to consider the highest people, or the people with the most amount of runes and full rune set for how they're going to balance their jungle, which means that in the lower levels, people have a lot harder time running jungle. I know that's a big problem because I started playing another alt again, and I was trying to play certain certain champions in the jungle, and it was almost impossible if you didn't have the right runes. Especially
I don't see that being a problem with this game though, because this is
but I mean, it could
be.
I mean, if you think about, they have people have 20% extra damage, something like that, or even 5 or 10% more damage. You're gonna be able to clear jungle camps way quicker, which means that they might have to be okay, well, jungle camps are now too easily taken. So now they have to buff up jungle health, and then the people who are at the very low levels of the game don't have that ability to take them out so easily.
Right. So now,
as long as they focus their balancing, around the runes and artifacts themselves, then it won't be a problem. But the moment they're oh yeah, these guys are clearing it too fast, and then they nerf hero damage overall or something, that's when it becomes a problem. So hopefully they realize that. But as of right now, every hero in the game can do everything like they're supposed to. But as long as they don't tweak that because of runes, then they need to balance the runes themselves and not everything else around it, or it'll become a problem quick.
Yeah,
and that's when the skill gating thing or whatever you got.
Are these going to be visible on the tab screen? That's another issue.
That's a good point.
How if the guy can run 10% faster than me, from the gate, I have to take that into consideration immediately. 5%. Do I know that immediately, or what is? Yeah, whatever. That's enough to make a break. You know what I mean? If you're faster than someone just by default, Falstad can't catch people unless he has rewind. So, you have to take that into account immediately. And if you don't know that coming out of the gate, that's going to be a problem.
I agree.
Yeah. I don't. They should just. The talent system is so unique and cool. They just need to scrap this and just focus on talents. Double the tree, make them better. The talents is so. It's perfect. The talent system is perfect. They don't need to do anything else. They don't need these masteries and artifacts and nonsense. Just double the talent tree. Put all your efforts on the talent tree. This is silly. There's no point for this to be in game at all.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Corey, remember I was saying earlier it would be at the bottom, you can actually see in the image right here. This is how it's going to be in your character select. You choose your artifacts right down here. But that's
horrible for solo queue because you don't know what you're against.
Right. So I mean, we have no draft period as it is right now.
Yeah.
So solo queue is the only thing you're doing. But I mean, exactly what you said. Like, yeah, this is how you're going to build your character, but you don't even know you don't even know what you're up against. You don't necessarily know what you want to be building, and that's a whole nother problem that this would bring. But the whole system is just kind of like, it's scary.
It's supposed to promote customization, but if anything, it's like if you go into a game on someone with like a damage buff, but it turns out you wanted the health buff instead, you're already set. Like, say on Tassar, you go into it wanting to do damage, but then once you get into the game, you realize we need a second support instead. It's too late though. I already got that damage rune. I don't have the mana one, so I'm kind of. It's not customization at that point. It forces you down this path that you can't turn away from. It makes the game worse. Like, if you have to do it from for solo queue at least, like
absolutely.
Once you pick those artifacts, you are set down that path. You cannot change. Like, I mean, you could change, but then you're weaker than you would have been.
Do you think in ranked play later on, when you know exactly who your opponents are going to be, who your team is going to be, and what map you're going to be on, this is going to be a problem?
I mean, the system itself is a problem. Like, it's not a good system.
But do you think that you'd need to change in the middle of a match what runes you'd probably want, or what artifacts you'd probably want? Do you think that there's a possibility?
As soon as you know the comp you're against, that should be enough information.
So, that's what I'm saying. So if this was, say, only in ranked, and you knew who your opponents were going to be, who your team was going to be, and what map it was going to be, do you think it would still be a problem?
Well, I mean, it's less of a problem in that aspect that, like, it won't set you down this locked path, because you'll be like, okay, I'm going to be supporting this game, so I'll get the mana rune. But it's still a bad system in the sense that the way it works, it's not really customization.
No, yeah, I'm just curious.
It's definitely better for rank play. Yes, it is better for rank play because you're not forcing yourself down this silly outlet. But yeah, it's still not good. It's not good.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much more we can match this.
A
lot of it's wait and see. We gotta wait and see a lot of it.
I think one of the things that we could discuss at this point, real quick, is let's say that this is just for the sake of people spending more gold. What are different ways that they could develop in game so that people could spend more gold and possibly either create customization for a character, or just other things that people would probably really want to buy with just
cosmetics. Like, think of if you were Illidan and you had like Tyrion Ford Rings Ashbringer. You know, little funny things like that. You know, not skins, but little like weapon changes, or a new helmet.
Tyranda's W is an eagle instead of an owl.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Team logos on your side of the map, like things like that.
Yeah, literally, like you can put like different like saddles on your horse, like whatever. I mean, there's a million things.
There's so much stuff, and you know what? It won't feel cheap. It won't feel like, oh, they're taking my time, my gold away. Like these things, like, I like this. You guys put work into this. I like what you guys did. I'm gonna give you my money. Like I'm gonna give you my gold. Yeah. This is just like, I have to do this.
My Gul'dan has green Hellfire. That's awesome. Like, that's
like, those little things. There's plenty of things you could do.
Like,
there were a couple of ideas that I was kind of throwing around in my head. And I want to give credit to Tab Karova, who posted a large post on the Reddit today. And one of his ideas was daily tournaments that cost gold.
I would love
that's
that.
perfect.
I would love that.
That's a great idea.
That's
amazing.
I love costs. Give this man a raise.
Yeah, no doubt.
over say, like, at did have maybe every 4 or 5 hours or something like that, or maybe a set period on every server, people could sign up, and then obviously you would like win and come out with, say, I don't know, 4 or 5 times your entrance cost. But of course, if you have just even more than 3 teams or something like that, Blizzard has taken a net amount of gold away from the whole entire player base, which means that more people are going to be more likely to spend real money, which wins for them, and then we would actually have a ranked system. So Tab Karova came up with this, and I was like, this is amazing.
Even just gambling on ranked matches would work too. Like, just them taking a percentage spot. Like,
so fun.
Just like, oh man, like, I think we're gonna win this one. Let's do it. Let's put down 1,000 gold.
Yeah, like I'm crazy cocky with my Brightwing. I never lose with Brightwing. Just put up all the money. Like,
yeah.
If Corey's got his cat on his lap, I know we're gonna lose, so we're not gonna. Corey, show the cat. It's hard to see him though.
Okay, let's see if I can get the cat.
I think these runes and stuff would be great for like play testing and like new heroes. Like, because what if like on Illidan you rock the attack speed, you get the life speed, and then you get the movement speed runes. And with those numbers, you find that he is much more consistent. He does he's actually good. You know, he's not a bad hero. And then you're like, okay, so these are the numbers we can tweak with and like play with that. Like that's the one benefit I've seen from this. Like maybe a hero like Illidan with these runes isn't bad anymore. You know, he becomes better. That's really the only thing I look at the system right now and go, I can't wait to play Illidan with these runes, or I can't wait to play, you know, another hero like Burden, and you know, give them like a little bit more damage, a little bit more health, you know, and see how they play in solo queue. Because that's the only thing I look at this. Like, I know this is all negative, but there is a little bit of positive. I want to play Illidan now with these runes and see how he does, because you know, right now he's a tickle monster.
He's kind of a tickle.
Maybe with the attack speed and life steal and the movement speed, maybe he's more than a tickle monster. Maybe he's an actual assassin now.
Or a whole bunch of tanking stuff, you know, so that he's got a whole bunch of health, so he doesn't actually die immediately.
It's like maybe this would be good like on a patch testing thing, like they did with StarCraft 2. They did the test servers.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know how successful the cat is.
The other things that I was coming up with was, and this is probably more of a less favorable idea, but it was just an idea that popped into my head, and it's a possibility that, you know, they expand talents a lot, right? So you have a ton of talents, maybe even 8 per level, right?
Yeah, man.
And then at the beginning, at like say level 1, you select which talent you get, and you only get that choice at the beginning. And then more gold would say that you could be able to select more talents and be more diverse throughout each of your games. So you would be able to have any talent at level, you know, any talent available there. So instead of having to unlock those additional talents,
so you basically like
you just select which one would be your only choice at like say level 1 to level 10, and then maybe you purchase. Then maybe like at level 10 you unlock a second one, so you have 2 choices for every level.
What about,
and then you can purchase 3 and 4 and maybe even 5.
Even more of like a Awesome Knots approach. In Awesome Knots, you go into the game with a build. You have basically, you limit yourself to a few options. Basically, kind of like what you're saying. You limit yourself to a few options, and then you buy them once you're in the game. But maybe this could be something similar, where by default you have 2 options, and you could choose any of those 2, but you're pre-selecting those going into the game. But you could use gold to buy those new slots so that you have 3. That's exactly what you're saying, but I'm just thinking it more like.
No, that's a great comparison. Like, that was great.
That would be.
I never played Awesome Knots, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that was like literally the perfect comparison.
Yeah, it's like that's actually like a really good idea, because you're not restricting anyone's play. But by going down the road, they then have more flexibility in that each game. It's like, all right, well, since I've played longer, I have more flexibility, but you're not you're not like preemptively limiting them, or like giving them a weakness for being lesser. Like the options are always going to be there before the match, but you get in as like, oh crap, I actually wish I was this higher, or I wish I was a DPS Rehgar, but I didn't actually choose the right things for this game. So they could just go out and mix it up for the next game. And then later on, they're going to have that flexibility. And that's just a really nice thing to unlock, because later on, it's just like, man, I can do whatever I want. I don't even have to think about it, because I've been playing forever, and I earned that. And that feels good. I don't know why I got all gangsta for a second there.
Word, yo. It's just like, I think the whole thing we all take away from this, like, it's just general consensus. It just feels like the only, like, 90% of the reason it's in game is because we need a gold sync, and that is a terrible reason to mess with stats. It
just feels wrong. I think we.
I love customization, but this is not it.
I think Kevin's suggestion right there is like brilliant. I think that would be awesome. I wouldn't even be mad if they just said, "All right, you only can go into each game with only 2 talent options until you unlock more." I wouldn't even care, because that's like, again, that's something you're working towards and you're spending your gold on and unlocking as you go. As long as all the options are there to begin with, I actually don't like our like current, like, you have to unlock more talents at level 4 kind of thing. I hate that. That's a progression update we'll talk about in a moment.
Yeah, we're about to get into that dirty business.
But
I mean, let's get into progression. We spent
I
40 minutes on this topic.
We know it would be a long one,
General consensus is it
some
sucked.
of us, Sham 2, made some really shitty points, so I think we need to just go past this one because we got a lot of hate feed for that.
All right, if I could close out with this, I will say that they're trying to do something really extreme, and I'm noticing this trend with a lot of the stuff that they're doing in the alpha. Like the pricing of the skins is really extreme. What they were doing with the snowballing was really extreme, and I think they're just like, hey, let's throw this thing out at them, see what the backlash is, see how it works for a week or two. They're obviously going to scale this down, so like it's not something
That's the best way.
Yeah, it is, and it's an alpha. We do have to remember that it is an alpha. So.
And Browder came out and said, look, we've never done this with an alpha before.
Yeah,
we've never been this open to stuff. We're throwing things at you. We've already retracted things. We said we were going to remove gold from the, what's it even called? The comp stops. I don't even know what that's called. Cooperative mode. They said we were going to remove gold and dailies from that, and we retracted that decision. We said we were going to do X, X, and X, and we retracted that, and we're listening. So even though we just pooped all over this, this is an alpha. Blizz is listening. They're listening to our feedback. So yeah, we do have to go, and yeah, we're all gonna try this. And once we have a couple weeks of experience with this, we're gonna come back and we're gonna say, all right, maybe it makes this character viable, so it's cool for that, or X, 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 and X, and X. I think it needs tweaking no matter what, but yeah.
It's better to overbuff something and then nerf it than to start something weak and then work its way up. It's much simpler in that sec, and you know.
I'm gonna wait for Blizzard to give me my big pile of gold, and then I'm not gonna spend it, and then they're gonna nerf the gold cost, and then I'll spend it, and then I'm just gonna be the richest guy in Heroes Alpha. And it's gonna be so sick.
I'm still just waiting on my free Demon Hunter, Blizzard.
Yeah, every week we'll bring it up. Where's my Demon Hunter?
Beta. We get it in beta.
Please. Yeah.
All right. Well,
we got one more.
We got one more. We're not doing a Kubi's questions this week. Oh,
I figured no.
Dead segment.
It's dead segment. Dead segment. Dead game.
So we got that's kind of our thoughts on that. We have a new progression system going into the game. Blizzard announced this. This is probably the first thing they announced. The next, they announced the map
earlier this week.
Yeah, but it was an early announcement, and it's actually a pretty big change. You can see here, level 7, Tyrande, player level 24. So basically, characters or heroes now have individual levels, which are used to unlock
talents, heroics,
multiple
skins.
things.
There's a lot of stuff.
I don't want to scroll on screen. That's annoying to watch. So yes, we can see it right here. So level 1, your hero starts here. Level 2, second heroic is unlocked. Level 3, you get additional talents. Level 4, all remaining talents. So until you're level 4, you don't even have everything available to the character. Level 5, you get 500 gold. Level 6, you get your first hero portrait and mount variation. Hero portrait unlocking that's kind of like StarCraft 2. Right now, all the portraits exist, free for everyone, but they're taking those away and making that an unlock, and you get a new mount variation. Level 7, you get a skin variation. 8, the next skin. 9, you get your hero master portrait and mount variation 2, and level 10, you get those new master skins that we just thought. Kevo, thoughts?
Because you said you
I like the ideas that they're trying to come up with for progression, and I honestly, like, for me, of course, I will always say something like it's really a pain when I know that I'm being limited, but there are actually some people a lot of people actually I know, who like being like having a limited amount of pool that they can actually access and everything. And as long as they keep, like level 1s with level 1s, then that's not going to be a problem, right? Sure, I made the point before that like a level 40 teaming up with like a level 2 and you're going to get like level 12s or whatever, but for the most part, most of these seem like it's only going to be like 10 or 12 games until you're actually going to like get into a zone where you're going to have everything that everybody else is going to have. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, level 10 didn't seem like it was like a ton of games to really get there.
I don't like it.
All right, here's an example. The other day, I was playing with my team, right? We were trying to do a specific comp, and we were running this, and then somebody was like, I don't want to play this guy anymore. I don't feel comfortable with him. So I'm going to switch to this guy. And I was like, oh, I'll just switch to Tychus. Oh, wait a minute. I haven't actually played that many games on Tychus. I've only played like 3 or 4 games on Tychus. I know how to play Tychus, especially because Kev showed me how to play him. But but no, that's the point though. Like, I should be able to switch that character if I know how to play him. Like, what if I played him before the first wipe? I play like, how many games do you have, Jared, on Witch Doctor right now? Not nearly as many as you did before. Like, that's not at all representative. I know that's not a very good example because things won't be like that when the game's actually out.
That's a good example.
It's annoying. It's gonna be annoying for me because I can play a lot of the heroes, and I'm not gonna be able to switch between them.
Once the game goes live, it won't be a problem. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, this is my first time playing." But for us personally, it's like, guess what, guys? I haven't played Murky in like 4 weeks, but I still know how to play them. And what happens when I bust them out and I'm limited to these terrible talents? I'm gonna be upset, and I'm probably not gonna play them again because I can't play them like I want to for like 6 levels or something.
It's another gating thing that, again, you know. Early on, they said they were really influenced by Hearthstone in a lot of ways, and one of the nice things about Hearthstone is you can always just pick up and play, and you might not have every card in the game, but you're still not restricted to the kind of decks you can build. You do the initial quests, which don't take very long, you have them. But to get every single hero to level 4, that is a chore. That is a huge chore.
You're right. Like, you know what? I keep forgetting that this isn't like the system that they have right now, and it is hero by hero, and that would drive me crazy.
Right now, you have to get level 7 to unlock all the talents, or level 8, whatever it is. That's not a big deal. It's kind of like, oh, that's inconvenient. This is my alt account. I have to do that. Whatever. But it's one and done. It's a one and done thing. You've earned. Like, you've put that effort, and you've learned your way in the game, and you've learned how to work with different talents, and you've gained that, you know, experience. But you don't need that experience for every single hero in the game. It just feels like a chore.
So I just did the math real quick, and it's 4.5 hours for every hero. 4.5 hours.
What?
That's just game time. Just to get.
That can't be right.
No, it's 14 games right now. So what did they say? It was at least it was 10 games at the minimum. Like if you win all those games.
It's 5 to 10
I'm
games
seeing someone
to
that's
reach
saying
level
5 to 10. So 10 games times 20 minutes divided by 2. So it's like at least 3 hours. Yes.
That's ridiculous. That's
3.5. 3.3 hours.
I think
that's 121 hours for the current roster of heroes. And if you were a new player joining this game 2 years from now, and the game has 75 characters in the game.
Yeah, that number's gonna have to be tweaked. I think I like the progression. Like if we didn't been playing the game and it was just launched today and we were just getting in with this new system, I don't think it'd be as bad. Cause I like the idea of progression. It gives you something to work towards.
Yeah, I do too.
The way they're doing it is really wrong. If it's that long to play, 121 hours for our current heroes, that's absurd.
Like conceptually, this is really cool. I like the idea that I'm unlocking portraits and skins and mounts and
I'm
skins,
all for that.
and I'm all for that.
But said it right.
But the heroics and the talents, just stop. Just give me a portrait at level 3. Give me 100 gold at level 2. Like I don't care. Just don't do this gating thing. You can make talents at level 2 or something. Just the big gate though. This massive gate. It's too much. Ugh. Yeah. It's sickening.
Yeah. It should honestly maybe 3 games to unlock.
Right, 3 games and you're good. Like that's like an hour of your time and you have this character. I'm okay with that. Like honestly, but as it stands, it's
Corey had the perfect example earlier. Like look at the current scrim meta. Like all of a sudden got heroes that were tier 4 and 3. Jake, heroes that were tier 4 and 3, like Murden. He's getting play a lot now. We're seeing Tyrell and Barb pop up like in combos together. So what happens when Idra's team is like, oh hey, let's start running this, and then Glaurung's like, well, I'm gonna have to do this tomorrow because I'm gonna have to do some solo queue tonight to level up my Murden, so I can actually get to the good times. That's so obnoxious.
Well, I mean, all right, let's not compare it to pro players, just because, as somebody also said in chat, I was thinking the same thing. For the most part, they're gonna probably have like those 3.5 hours on everybody, and etc. And especially if they're going to be running even remotely a comp in terms of any type of scrimmage. However,
okay, that's a very specific thing right now.
I'm thinking just like playing with your friends, and you're like, you want to be like, okay, well, I just unlocked this hero, I want to play him maybe in a scrim or something like that, or play him and you're like, okay, well,
do it
I
on
have
your
to
own
wait
time.
until level 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, say like I just got home from work and I want to. I mean, like, most people have work, jobs, etc. that they're going to keep, and they want to get home and they just want to play a hero. But you have to play at least a level 2 to get your second heroic ability.
Yeah.
And then,
sure.
what if your second heroic ability is the one that actually works? You know,
Right.
what if it was like your first heroic ability is Nidus? You know, only
think
idiots
about how like
take
think
Nidus.
about how the free week is
Jake.
going to work too.
Damn.
Uh,
I don't
like-
take Nidus anymore.
This is like, I see why, like I can see the reasoning behind it. They want to make it easier for newer players. Then add a handicap mode to the game, so where like if you're newer, you can force yourself to do this because there are people who don't like want to be limited. Okay, so you just uncheck that box. Give me all my damn talents.
Yeah,
That's how it was in Diablo. You know, when you put what was it called, elective mode on,
Yep.
you could do whatever you want. That was a perfect system because it helped newer players learn. And when you learned, you can put on elective mode and swap in whatever you want. That's perfect.
And at the same time, like, I just want to say, like, on the surface, out of 10 levels, you have to get almost halfway there to get to level 4 before you even unlock all your character's potential. That sounds like, just on the surface, I'm just like, wow, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
I think
it's a lot of work.
I think at most it should be 2 to 3 games to unlock apps. Or, as Jared said, a checkbox where it's just like check, and then you just have to play through those first 5 levels before you get your 500 gold, and then it just kind of progresses like normal.
I just think, like, they still have the account level. And I think it's fine, like, the way they have it now, where it's like level 7 or level 8, you have all your heroics.
Wait, they took out account level?
No.
It's still there.
Oh, I thought you said they did. I was like, whoa.
Why not just keep it tied to that? Like, once your account's like level 8, you've then, you know, gotten the core experience of the game, and you then have this feature for everyone.
Yeah.
I just think this character specific thing is like, it's gonna discourage people from trying new heroes because it sounds like a chore, and it sounds like Blizzard's really trying to put that focus on like, look, you master this hero, you get that master skin, and then you go on to the next one, but that's not the fun thing about heroes. The fun thing about playing a game like this is the diversity of all the different characters and like just jumping around. And oh, I've never played Gazlo. That sounds really fun because all my friends were doing a 5 specialist team, and this is going to be really fun. And I've never played a specialist, so I want to play Gazlo. But it's like, oh well, you can't get Demolitionist. Well, you can't play with us. Sorry, we'll find someone else.
I can see a legit situation rising. Like, say we're playing together, and like Jake's like, oh, I don't want to play Brightwing, so I'm gonna go play, you know, X. And I'm like, oh, since Jake's not doing this anymore, I want to try. I want to mess around with Tyrande because that would be great for this comp. Oh wait, guys, I can't do that because I don't have my. I can see it popping up so much and just ruining your night.
There's a million times we could repeat that same scenario, which we've done right now. It's just like it sounds like I don't.
It just sounds frustrating. It makes me frustrated thinking about it.
I'll go play. You know, Dota because I have everything. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
I don't know. Any final thoughts? Because I think that's probably.
Progression is great, but this is not the way they should do it.
I have
something to work for that's not talent.
I do have one thought. I cracked the Blizzard code, right? Here it is. Okay, they put out this progression system, and everyone's like, boo, it's kind of stinky, right? And then they put out the artifact system, and everyone's like, this is way worse. What is this, right? So they put this, all the publicity goes on the artifact system, and then they're like, just kidding. We're just kidding about the whole artifacts thing. And everyone's like, whoa, thank God. But I mean, we still got this progression thing, but that's not nearly as bad. So then the progression system's in, and no one's complaining about it. That's it. That's their plan. That is their whole plan.
I don't think so.
We're on to you, Blizzard.
We've cracked the code. Good work, Corey. They're just covering their poop with more poop.
Yeah.
Poopception. Kind of like Wolfception. We got Poopception.
Poopception.
There was one question that popped up in our Reddit thread that I actually am kind of really interested to hear the answer to. And I know, Jake, you're like, shut up, Sham 2. I want to go to sleep because I gotta go on a flight to go to Magical Land tomorrow. And I'm really tired. Anyway.
Spit it out.
There was one spit it out. Why don't you hold your horses there? All right? Anyway. Tonkin Fart said no. Anyway, he said, I do have a follow-up question from last week. One of the questions you guys answered was from Blizzard forums about team picking in a competitive environment and why you were all against being able to do mirror picks and matches. My question is, why is this allowed in fighting games, but considered a bad thing in a MOBA/brawler? I know it's a different genre.
That's actually a really good question.
That was a great
I know. That's why I asked it.
Koobs? You're
Yeah.
the fighting game
Koobs, I
expert.
think Koobs, you're the best
I am.
person for this.
I do watch a lot of fighting games, and I think the big thing that we brought up when we were talking about not having mirrors in MOBAs is that it's confusing. Right, so it's like, oh no, the left side stitches, no, you know, it's like maybe hard to tell them apart. And you know what? If you watch games like MVC, it can be really annoying. It's like, oh, it's like a Nova Ditto, but then this person comes in, and it's like, is that an assist or not? That's confusing, and a lot of people agree it's confusing. And if you watch two pro Fei Long players and their pants are different, slightly different shade of black, that.
One Marvel character that is actually a hero name in Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, you're right.
Like,
that is
I was
funny.
like, of all the characters, you had to use Nova. Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
Continue.
Yeah. But if so if you have two Fei Long players going against each other and they have two slightly different shade, like if you look at some of the costumes, they're too close, and that's obnoxious. I'm like, who's who? And like you spend half the match looking for what, like who's who? That's bad. So like, it's okay in Street Fighter games because you're focusing on one person and you can attempt to make like the differentiation there, but in the hecticness of a MOBA, it doesn't work. And I think it's just like too difficult for a spectator sport.
Throwing down two maws is just like, oh god, which one's mine? Like, you know, like, yeah, it might have a blue circle around it, but there's a million other effects on the screen.
The big
it overcomplicates things.
Yes,
basically.
I agree.
The big thing for me is the strategy that goes involved into the like the rank play, where you're doing the picks and bans, and then you're specifically taking that person so they can't get it, and then you see they pick two, so you know they're going to go for this third hero because it complements them well, so you snipe them from them. You know, it just adds so much depth and complexity to strategy that.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a big part of it.
To me, it's not only just sniping them, but it stops the possibility of a whole bunch of pre-made teams running the same 5 people all the time, and it creates you know, people having to pick different things, and while there's, you know, the possibility to decide that, you know, it's like, I'm gonna grab Stitches, I'm an okay Stitches, but Glaurung's an amazing Stitches, and I know he's gonna be really upset, he's gonna like break keyboards because I just picked Stitches, but I don't want to ban Stitches actually. But then there's also the possibility that you don't have like Kerrigan Stitches, all fighting against each other. I think that is a really big problem. In Street Fighter, that's not so much of a problem because it's basically like, you know, not everybody's gonna play the same frickin' fighter in Street Fighter. Everybody's got their different styles. The same with Smash Bros. I mean, it sucks that 20XX hero, you know, characters are everywhere. You know, Fox vs. Fox, and they're called Dittos, which still, like, I get it. It's like, just drives me crazy. Anyway, but it's just, for me, it's just, it adds more depth strategy, as Zoya said, as a lot of people will think. And in Street Fighter, it's just a different type of person you have to prepare for. So, you know, Fei Long versus Fei Long is not going to be anywhere near the same type of matchup as like Fei Long versus Ryu. So it's just, it really, like, it doesn't change a whole bunch in a Street Fighter. It's just one more person they have to be prepared for.
Yeah.
Listen, Marth Dittos are fun to watch, but a Malfurion Ditto, no. I don't want to watch that. That'd be boring.
Well, look, we're both rooted, tickling each other.
Yeah.
Well, all right, cool. I think that pretty much covers the show. I don't think we have time for Kubi's questions or any other Reddit questions. I think that was.
See this face? This is a frown.
I think the artifact discussion was probably our most discombobulated, rage-induced, all over the place section we've ever had on this show. So
I don't know. You remember Kevin's Lily rant? Because that was intense. That was intense, bro.
That was more coherent than that 45 minutes of just like we're just raging and saying the same thing repeatedly.
That thing changed. Look at my Skype profile picture. That's what came of that. Okay. Kevin's rant did this.
That's fair. That's fair. Just to recap on things real quick, we had our.
I lost 3 followers because of my terrible point.
Oh, good. These are the straw polls for thoughts on the artifact system. 43% agree that it probably won't work. Really bad idea by 37%, but not excited about testing it. Sounds great, loving it. 2 votes. 2 votes. 2 votes. 2 wrong people.
You know what? There's one person that actually likes it a lot. LZ Gamer is really hyped about this system. So you might want to consider maybe bringing him on as a guest eventually and have him talk about it.
I might have to talk to him next week. We'll
He's like the only person who's 100% for this that I've talked to.
Very interesting. You switch over to our progression system, and most people don't like it. Annoying extra barrier.
A little less polarized, though.
Yeah, a little less polarized, but still mostly against it. And I don't know what this is. Garden of Terror. Garden of Terror. New fun idea for a map. Excited to play it. Overall, just excited for the new map. So.
Yeah, I think that's what we all took away from today. Rehgar and the map are going to be fun. Can't wait.
Yep. Yeah. Rehgar and the map will be fun. The new features, we'll have to test them out and actually get some more feedback moving forward.
Do we have any idea when this stuff is getting pushed forward?
So there's an 8-hour patch going
on.
Tomorrow.
We hope.
So everything?
Well,
everything.
We assume. We don't know.
I thought they were going to give it... So they're not wiping things. They're not calling this an official wipe.
Wipe.
Right? Okay, all right.
So
I saw a blue post where they said there will be at least a month heads up before the wipe.
That's what I remember, yeah, because I was going to say they didn't really give much of a heads up for this. Okay, but...
Yeah, it's...
finish your quest, kids. Finish your quests.
Finish your quest.
Yeah, because you lose
How are you guys on gold?
Quests.
Do you all have over 10k just in case?
Yes.
I'm checking right now, actually.
I have 10.4. I'm excited.
I don't think he's going to be 10. I think he's going to probably be 7.
Well, more than likely, no. But you just want to be prepared.
Well,
don't.
I have to wake up.
7.
I have to wake up very early, so let's go on.
Kevin, hold on, Kevin. So, what did you do this last weekend?
Oh, this past weekend, actually, I went to go watch. Yeah, I went to go watch TI4. It was pretty cool. The games were amazing. So let me go match my match of what I learned about Dota 2, just so you guys can all kind of experience the excitement that I ran into when we. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Jake.
I love your faces, Jake. They're so animated.
Coobs.
Yeah.
Final shoutouts.
Oh god, yeah. Follow me at Omega Black Mage, please. And
please,
I don't know. I'm drained. That's all I got.
Kevo,
this is a tough episode.
Shoutouts to actually, your header is wrong. We are now known as Town Hall Heroes. We've changed the name of the show, and we are not done. We are going through a lot of stuff in the coming weeks. So just stay tuned. Anyway,
we're evolving.
Shoutouts, yeah, we're evolving. We talked to Abathur, and he was all like, "Yo, I got some spin cycles we can do." That's exactly what he said. Anyway, shoutouts to my YouTube. Please do me a favor and follow me on youtube.com/Shamtoo, SCHAMTOO. I will be doing a new free week. I think I'm doing Vala this week because I've been playing a lot of Vala lately, and I haven't done an assassin.
Vala or Vala?
Vala.
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 That's not a name they even really discuss.
We'll see how I how I feel tomorrow. It's pretty much going to be whether I play Sergeant Hammer or Vala. And yeah, that's about it for me. Follow me at twitter.com/am2 if you want to keep hearing my terrible arguments. I'm really upset that I messed up that argument.
Yeah,
you got to figure out who gave it to you.
The whole entire I know exactly who gave it to, but I don't want to call him out. But the whole chat was just like, "You are dumb."
Yeah, that was probably the worst segment of Town Hall history. Congrats on that.
Oh my god,
congrats on the achievement.
Kev, it's okay.
Jared,
it's okay, Kev.
Jared, what final shoutouts?
Yeah, follow IvdZoia. Follow me. I know you want to go to bed, so I'll be back. I won't be back next week, but the week after that,
it was nice to have you. It was nice to have you, Jared.
We are so happy to have you back, Jared.
Yes.
Keep an eye on the Town Hall Twitter because we're doing a lot of new stuff. And Jake, are you actually going to tease a little bit of the
We're going to tease. We're going to tease. So as we've been saying, the show is evolving. Kev and I have been speaking and working with one of our coworkers at MLG who is kind of making our show a lot sexier. So our current theme of the show is actually just a stolen background from the Heroes of the Storm website that I literally ripped from their website and then animated. And we put some creative work into that by animating it, which was fun. But again, the Heroes logo with the word Town Hall on it. So I will unveil a mock. This isn't final. This is a one version of our new logo. Very 80s themed. This is the upcoming branding we're going to be having. The whole show is going to be looking a lot nicer, a lot different.
It looks sexy. Just say it. It looks sexy.
It looks like a plant whore, and and I like it a lot.
Man, I want to collect a whole bunch of seed to summon that thing.
Oh,
I hope
geez.
it's got a big chest.
And big shout out to Christian MLG Rab for
Yeah, man,
MLG
that looks
yeah.
great, dude. I am hyped about it. I can't wait until
For
we have
his
it all.
And that's not even remotely all of it either. We got a lot of stuff
The
in the works.
The show's gonna look a lot better. We have a lot. I mean, it's just again we're rebranding it Town Hall Heroes just because Town Hall is a very generic thing, hard to Google. So that's why you have the word Heroes in there, and just the show itself will look a lot better. We'll probably have an intro built for that as well. And we're probably going to be moving back to MLG TV. So we'll have more details on that soon. We'll let you know where we're going. But MLG is actually doing a lot for Heroes. We have a lot of plans moving forward. Idris streams there as it is. It sounds like we'll have a lot more Heroes. I stream there. MLG.tv/Solid. You can find me there. I've been doing a lot of YouTube content. You can expect a crap ton of Rehgar content as soon as I get back from San Diego Comic-Con, but I will be gone for a full week. I'm actually getting back just in time for the next Town Hall. So I'm actually probably going to, I'll probably have to be sick next Tuesday and just play Rehgar all day. We'll see what happens. And then be ready for the show.
I work with you and I can show your boss this, right?
Whoops.
Yeah, but...
Oh, snap!
Damn, Kev, you're off the show.
That's fine. That's fine.
But that would not be good. But yeah, but MLG's got a new chat launching soon. It's actually a really nice system. The engineers we have, Kev actually works in the engineering team, and
I'm an engineer.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of.
He went to school, guys.
They're doing a lot of really cool stuff, and so we're thinking about making the swap back. So we'll let you know if that happens and when that happens, and you can expect to see our new pretty graphics in the coming weeks and a lot of Rehgar discussion. Now, next week we're not going to do the Rehgar deep dive. We will have a deep dive for you, but it will...
Wait for me to be back.
Yes, we will. We will wait. We will wait. We're not going to do the Rehgar deep dive without Zoya, and we're going to wait 1 week. We'll do it once he's back the following week. Next week, let's call it right now.
Have a dance with me.
Let's call it right now. Let's do Kerrigan.
Oh.
That's actually a really good one because she's been changed a lot.
Yes,
She doesn't seem
she
much
has.
play.
That's
actually really good.
I think
Fine.
she's a really good choice.
Fine.
Corey's like, I don't want to fly her.
My Kerrigan's so booty though.
So booty.
So
I don't have Kerrigan unlocked though.
I'll step it up.
You
you're gonna
can
have to get
use
to
my
level 4.
Smurf.
You're gonna have to get to level 4. Ha ha ha.
Them shot fires. That's
So-
a progression. Out.
So next week, if you guys have not, we didn't have a deep dive this week, but every week we do a hero deep dive where we really just focus on one hero. We talk everything about them. We go through all their talents, play styles, and where they really fit in the meta. So you can expect the hero deep dive. That does it for Town Hall episode 23. If you guys missed part of the show, you can check out the VOD at youtube.com/solidjiggg. We have townhallshow.wordpress.com. We might try to get that changed to Town Hall Heroes. Probably a good idea, and it's on iTunes, and there's an RSS feed available there as well. So there's a lot of places to watch the show. Thanks so much for tuning in on our most negative show ever.
Have a good day tomorrow, everyone.
ever. But artifacts suck. Plant horse for life.
Plant horse for life.
Have a good night, guys.